Okay, let's see if that worked. Pop over to the YouTube land, wait to hear my own voice. And then we'll get going. Hey, I heard my voice. What up, everybody? How are you doing today? Anybody here from last night's stream? I guess if you're in Europe, you maybe never went to sleep. I might be streaming twice the same day for you. What are we doing today? Today, we are casting a tournament for Enticity, the well-beloved player and YouTube content creator within the Total War scene. This is the challenge page. It looks like check-ins are still underway for another minute here. But we certainly have some recognizable faces. Dr. Jellyfish has been around the community, Phoenix King, Ice Power, ODM Chosen One, RTK Maker, Energized, Park Map, Enticity himself, Biblington is in this, Swarv, and Lunacy. Should be a pretty good crowd. Should have some really competitive games. I'm wondering if we landed on 16 players randomly. No, okay, 17. I was like, that's a specific number to land on, or if Enticity had set up a cap. So it is officially 1 p.m. now. We'll see if it starts soon. Take you back here, put you in game for a second. Alright. Post this vid on my channel. Okay. Alright. So it looks like things are going well. I'm just going to check it on Anticity's Discord and see if the bracket is live yet. It is not. Anyway, what kind of tournament is this? It looks like we're doing Anticity's quick battle style tournament. It's where you turn the unit caps off instead of unit caps on instead of using the banner rules that we usually use, or fruit rules. You're using CA's limits, which is like spearmen and swordsmen are no longer considered part of the same unit. So this build I have on my screen right now behind the blocker, which I'll move, that's technically legal in this format because unit caps don't really count spearmen and spearmen shields as the same unit. So this is entirely legal to have 15 state troops, where banner rules would have 8 is the cap. But meanwhile, you can see there's 2 little subsets there for crossbowmen. Crossbowmen are 1 of 5, and there are 1 of 12 ranged units. So it's not like you can go completely crazy because the unit caps will stop you once you get to 12. See, now all of them are grayed out. All my skirmish cav are grayed out. So they largely hold you to banner rules anyway. Enticity pointed out in the chat that these are just kind of like the first version of the banner rules. It looks like the bracket is live. I'm seeing the announcement. So I'm going to go back and refresh and see what kind of game we can find here that would be good to cast. I'll message Maker. Swarv. Swarv and Maker would be a good game. So we'll go find them. Where are the maps? Oh, there are no maps up yet. That could be a little bit of a problem. Enticity messaging the chat. The tournament has started. Maker versus Swarv. I'm going to try to join really quick. I know I need a spectator slot. I'm just going to ask. You add a spectate for a stream. Tiago saying it's time for 5 Hellblasters and a double net. Yeah, that would be pretty intense. Alright, Maker made a slot for us, so now we can go back. Let Swarv actually in to his own game. And where did that just go? Maker versus Swarv, spectate. 1, 2, 3. And we'll get in there. Both of these are RTK members. I'm just realizing that as I'm getting into games. So this is a triple RTK biased chat. That should be okay. Maker plays Skaven, from what I can remember. Skaven, High Elves. I think a little bit of greenskins. So we should get some fun factions out of him. And Swarv, I know he plays greenskins a lot. I know he enjoys Grom the Paunch, even after the nerfs. So we might get a little bit of that action. But I'm curious to see how the greenskins will play after their nerfs. They don't take nearly as many loons anymore because they have to be in combat for a certain amount of time before they can cast their little death ball. And usually the goblin stats are low enough that they'll take too much damage to get more than one loon off. Usually. Usually. Swarv's also in our recent channel event called the Faction Face-Off, where, if you don't know what that is... Oh, do I still have a picture of it? I do. I do. Really quick, while we're waiting for Swarv, Faction Face-Off's this. It's a 5v5 team-style game. They're not all in the same game, obviously. That would be very, very laggy. But we'll have 5 champions of one thematic faction, 5 champions of another, and it's Chaos versus, at this point, a bunch of raiders in a desert, awful map, because Chaos has won 3 times in a row, so pretty much all of the Order factions are dead and the world has crumbled at this point. But you can see Swarv there is on Grom the Paunch for us. It'll be like match 1, match 2, match 3, match 4, match 5, going all the way down, and then whoever wins stays in like dodgeball. And then round 2, let's say Deadly Bunnies and Papa Palpatine were the only 2 Chaos left, they would fight Swarv, way and saltier than you, and see which team gets down to having 0 people left. It's kind of a fun elimination style game. And I'm debating how to put that on my channel with some sort of... You can take that picture I just showed you and put it in Microsoft Paint and like cross out people. And anybody who's left at the end, if you get it perfectly right, you get some sort of prize. I'm working on that. Maker's here, Swarv's here. Enticity did post maps, so the first map we'll have is Desert's Bounty. It looks like Swarv has the first pick. Jeremy, you're confused with who's Remy the Rat Rider? So, some of my community is very silly. Very, very silly indeed. Where's the mythical voting channel? Sorry. I'll post it later. Streaming. Some of my community is very silly, and they asked to use generic lords, not legendary lords. You also might have noticed that there was Flareon, Lord of Cinder, on there. So I allowed them to use generic lords, as long as they gave them a name and treated them like a character. So Ribby the Rat Rider is just a Skaven warlord, but he has to be on a Bonebreaker or a Brood Horror. And that should be fun. It's a fun event. It's not... I mean, once you get into game, once the players get into the game with their armies, they're going to try as hard as they can to win. But outside the game, what picks we're using, we usually try to have some fun. Because I talk to the players ahead of time and I say, hey, can you not use... Oh, let's say for the High Elves, hey, can you not use Teclis? We see Teclis literally every game. Can we get, like, Tyrion or something fun? And usually the players are like, yeah, sure. Real human being, don't call us Silky. I meant to call you Silly if I stuttered. My bad. Tiago, since it's quick battle, might as well assume some quick battle maps. Give us Witchwood, Desolation of Ostermark, and Altar of Ultimate Darkness. I don't hate Altar of Ultimate Darkness. It's not a very competitive map, but it can be kind of fun. Just sprinting up this absolutely steep hill. No idea what the enemy army is on the other side. It can be some fun. Okay. So what picks do we have for game 1 here? It looks like Swarv picked greenskins, banning Tomb Kings and Dwarves. Really? Dwarves? I've always thought greenskins were favored into Dwarves. And Maker taking the Lizardmen. This is a strong pick. Lizardmen are very strong in the meta right now in general. They're probably at the top. I don't think any faction right now is S tier, but I think Lizardmen are currently on top. Yeah, they're the strongest A tier faction, I would think. Anyway, so that being said, they're a very strong faction, and they were already kind of considered a counter to greenskins before they got their DLC and buffs and greenskins got a nerf, so I think Swarv's going to be fighting an uphill battle here. Oh, quick battle equals QB. I was wondering what a quarterback had to do with Total War. There are no quarterbacks here. That would be a very different kind of game. Isn't there... There's a game called Blood Bowl for this universe, right? Where greenskins and that sort of thing all play like football, but they murder each other during it. Eh. I guess it's not a new concept. Get an RTS Blood Bowl. I was thinking, chat, while we wait, for one of my next tournaments... Because if you're here because Enticity sent you here and you don't know who the hell I am, I'm Human Boy. Yes, I host once in a while a serious tournament, but otherwise I like to host a lot of fun community events, community tournaments, that sort of thing. Just a more casual atmosphere where people can experiment around and play the game different ways, because the meta can sometimes get stale and you do the same thing over and over again. But anyway, I was thinking for one of my next tournaments, it could be fun to have a 2v2 tournament called Capture the Flag. And how it works is one person takes a normal standard army, whatever they want to take, totally fine. But then the other player is the flag, and they have to take a lord that is on the ground, not flying. It can be on a mount on the ground, but it has to be on the ground. And then they can take 2 units as royal guard. Doesn't matter what the units are, but they can only take 2. And then the whole game is... I mean, you can obviously win through army losses, because army losses is a thing. But if either team loses their flag, the lord controlled by the player with less of an army, the whole team loses. I thought that could be kind of fun. Because then there's... my first thought immediately was, well, wouldn't you just hide your flag like in a back corner and that kind of thing? And that's true, and that's a good way to protect your flag. Wow, a Human Boy, that's a dumb tournament. Both players are going to be hiding. But are they? If you take, like, Techless, put him in the back corner and sit him there and don't do anything all game, and the other guy has Mazdamundi on Zlok, sprinting through your front line, casting Ruination of Cities, casting Banishments, Nets and stuff, aren't you just going to lose? Because your opponent's army is essentially 1.5 of an army versus your ally who's fighting alone. So that could be kind of an interesting dynamic where it's you have to protect your flag, but also help. You can't abandon him, or he's just going to lose, and then it'll be, yeah, your flag was safe until the end, but an entire army just walked up to you and murdered you. So I thought, after thinking about it, I'm like, there could be some strategy there for how much to use your flag. All right. Enough about that, though. What we are here for is some good competitive games, and we are about to get one. Oh, crap. The Lost Desert? I think that's this map. It's not Valley of Thieves. Valley of Thieves has much more hills going on. Greenskins versus Lizardmen. I saw the Lizardmen build, so predicting them isn't nearly as impressive, so I'm going to guess the Greenskins. Probably 2 Spider Riders... No, yeah, 2 Spider Riders, 4 Wolf Riders, one of which is Morgrubs. I'm going to say 2 Stone Trolls, Grom the Paunch, River Troll Hag, and Savage Orc Biggins. I can already see that I'm a little wrong. Let's see how wrong. 3 Spider Rider Archers, Grom the Paunch, River Troll Hag. The Arachnarok Queen. Oh, I used to love this unit. We saw her all the time before Stone Trolls became super meta. She's great. She can spawn a little spider summon that runs around as chaff. Applies some poison. Very good stuff there. 1 unit of Black Orcs. The Night Goblin ROR and 2 more Night Goblins. I hate that you can't tell if they're the Spinning Loom kind. I don't think they are because they don't have... You can see down here they have Expendable, but nothing there. Whereas with the ROR you can see the little ball and chain ability. So I think those are normal Night Goblins. And some Savage Orc Biggins if I didn't mention them. The Rusty Arrows Night Goblin ROR, they have Armor Sundering Arrows, so anything they shoot will be lowered. Other than that, that army looks fine. For here, on the side of Maker, we have 3 Pterodon Riders. Mazdamundi on Zlak, 2 Bastildons, Bastildon Solar Engine, and the Ancient Stegodon. I think that's the machine gun version. Is it the machine gun or the Bastillon? Yeah, it has 2 machine guns on top, not the big ballista. So it's not an artillery piece, more of a weird, monstrous skirmish piece. 3 Skink Cohorts with Javelin in the back, and 4 Saurus Warriors with shields to grind in the front. Very compact lizard build. Nice, elite, strong. What does Mazdamundi have for spells? He better have Apotheosis. Apotheosis for some healing, Harmonic Convergence for a little bit of dueling potential, and Net of Amnatok to slow down any bad situation. Looks like the players are ready. My early money is on... Ooh, this is a tough one, actually. I want to say the lizards. I think 3 armored dinos is going to be too much for the greenskins to take out. The black orcs will be good at it if they can get on top of it without getting murdered. The Arachnarch Queen will be good at it, but her leadership is pretty bad. It's 72 right now when she's fully healthy, but if she gets lowered at all, that'll be tough. And the Ancient Stegodon is quite the duelist. I know it's supposed to function as an artillery piece, but it's actually kind of nutty as a duelist. It has poison missile attacks that can fire while it's, attacking you. And at point-blank range, it's really hard to miss with a machine gun. River Troll Hag's advancing. Ooh, I didn't notice this before. Swarf has Fate of Buna. That is a very interesting spell. It can nuke down almost any infantry unit, but it costs like 24 Winds of Magic. So maybe he took that for Temple Guard just in case. But I don't know if any infantry unit here is worth spending 24 mana on. Don't know. The early skirmish phase is off already, and a Ruination of Cities, very ambitious coming in from Maker. He did cast Net, overcasted it, so he locked down all these units and they couldn't dodge. But Ruination is a very RNG-reliant spell, and it looks like one of the casts was pretty good, but the other 2 largely missed. Skirmish phase is going heavily in the favor of the Lizardmen, but now the front lines have crashed, and we will see how they do. Savage Orc Biggins are going to murder Saurus Warriors, especially with the Arachnarch Queen nearby, giving them some help. And there's the little spider summon we mentioned. It's just popping right up on top of these skin cohorts, functioning kind of like a zombie does for the vampire counts, just meant to stop them from throwing their spears, not meant to actually do much killing. A little bit of lag as on the other side, while the greenskins are crumping this flank's going terribly. The River Troll Hag's already lost half her health, and that Ancient Stegodon pops right in on top of her, and he breaks her. She's down to half health. She takes a Solar Engine shot in the back while flying through the air. Impressive accuracy from that there dino. And we will see if that continues to go in the favor of the Lizardmen, but the Ancient Stegodon turning around to rear charge these Black Orcs, and they're also half health, so that side's going tragically for Swarf. But Mazdamundi's a little caught out here, and if he gets 2v1'd by Grom the Punch and this Arachnarch Queen, he's going to have a terrible, terrible time. Ooh, if that River Troll Hag wasn't running right now, she could cast a Mither, the slow that she has on Mazdamundi, and that would really help out in their fight over there. The Rusty Arrows are currently getting bombarded from above by these Pterodons, and I wonder if they used their Rock Drop yet. If they haven't, I would still turn the Rusty Arrows and shoot Mazdamundi, lowering his armor to help Grom the Punch out a little bit, and just get that nice poke on him. River Troll Hag's still trying to rally. A little bit of lag. I believe Maker and Swarv are in different parts of the world, and I am in America, so I am stressing them out a little bit on their internet tests. We'll see if it rallies for us. Savage Orc Biggins are routing, and I have to say, I think the Lizardmen are off to a bit of an early lead. If they can secure Mazdamundi, get him out of there, he has plenty of healing in his kit, he can get back up and healthy, and the Greenskins have lost a lot of staying power on the ground. One unit of Savage Orc Biggins and their only unit of Black Orcs are already running. The other Savage Orc Biggins are on the ropes, and that's about it for their infantry quality. They'll have to rely on Grom and the Arachnarch Queen to carry them from there, but she's already 1/3 health missing, no healing in sight. This is a good pick, though. The Ancient Stegodon is currently in a 2v1, also surrounded on all sides by Spider Hatchlings, so even if Maker tried to pull out right now, he would have a hard time. It looks like he notices that and brings Mazdamundi in. Both these dinosaurs are very low on health, but they're fierce, fierce combatants, so I wouldn't really count them out just yet. And they're bullying that Arachnarch Queen a little bit, staggering her with a lot of their animations. Has the River Troll Hag come back? She did, but it might be a brief stay if she takes a very nice Bestowed on Solar Engine shot right to the face, taking her down to low enough health. The Pterodons can rout her, and I don't think Maker will let her come back this time. Balance power is decently in favor of the Greenskins, actually. Interesting. Based on the state of the game, I would have guessed that it'd be Lizardmen favored. I guess it's just valuing how low the single entities are on health for the Greenskins, and not really taking into account the healing Mazdamundi does possess and could give them. I don't think Maker has to take this fight. I think at this point he can pull out of here and just focus on healing his units. Some of his Pterodons still have ammo they could use to poke. A lot of the Spider Riders don't. This Stegodon with the Solar Engine has plenty of ammo to shoot at Grom the Punch. I do think Maker should be pulling out of here, and it looks like he will with Mazdamundi at least. Greenskin's still ahead on the balance power. Arachnarch Queen down to about half health, and her leadership bar is finally starting to show little gaps in it. That can prove tricky for Greenskins, because it's not long before it goes from a little bit missing to a lot missing on that leadership bar. It's already down to half. Mazdamundi getting it from behind is also not going to be great for this poor spider. Pterodon's charging in just to offer a little bit of chaff support. Where's that River Troll Hag? She did manage to rally. It looks like these Pterodons got a little distracted chasing off the Rusty Arrows. If she routes one more time, I think she might be out of rally charges, because for anyone who doesn't know, after you route a certain number of times, you just shatter and you can't come back. The Arachnarok Queen, like we mentioned, her leadership bar is quite low, and she has more health than either of the dinosaurs, but they are much braver creatures than she is, and she is leading this fight. Mazdamundi, I don't know. I mean, we can see his healing cap. He must have been casting some healing on himself. I think he's got to get a little more aggressive about healing his lord, because there he breaks already. Solarins is trying to fire in on Grom the Paunch, but if both of these dinosaurs break, I think it's going to be really rough for Maker here. We can see the balance of power now goes heavily in the favor of the Greenskins. Now, while Grom the Paunch is kind of the only asset piece they have left, that's still more than the Lizardmen really have to their name. If Mazdamundi can rally at all, heal himself up, I think Maker has a fighting chance, but if Grom stays on him like Swarv is, but Swarv pulls away, okay, this might be a big moment for the Lizardmen. Can Mazdamundi rally? His leadership's already positive, so he just needs to make enough space between him and the next unit. But, ooh, the Rusty Arrows are coming back. Now, this will work against Swarv that they're stalking, because if you get a stalking unit really close to an enemy unit that's routing, it'll rally anyway because it doesn't know the stalking unit's there. And as I say that, Mazdamundi does rally, and immediately Maker casts Apotheosis on him. Balance power is tragically low for the Lizardmen. I don't think there's a lot of ways to come back into it just yet. Maybe if he has a Ruination of Cities in the back pocket and he can just crush this entire blob of greenskin units, maybe he can do it. But with the last unit breaking, Mazdamundi's going to get hit with army losses, and that will be the game. Greenskins go up 1-0. Okay, what's going on with the chat? Well, I'll do this first, and then we'll check on the chat. Saurus had a very hard time. Savage Orc Biggins and the Black Orcs apparently put the hurt on them. And that's a lot. That's an expensive infantry frontline. That's 3,200 gold to get, it looks like about 2,000. So that's a big loss there. Stegodon and Bastildon paid for themselves pretty well. Mazdamundi did okay. And Pterodons did pretty fine. Swarv, Grom the Paunch got almost 3,000 value. Still very strong, apparently. These Night Goblins got okay value. Hard to tell if they had loons or not. Savage Orc Biggins did pretty fine. Black Orc struggled a little bit. And the Skirmish Cav did quite well, along with the Arachnarok. So it looks like the Arachnarok and Grom performed admirably in their large entity fight. Okay. Okie dokie. I gotta go change that scoreboard, don't I? Swarv up 1-0. And Maker, hey, I wasn't entirely wrong. Maker is going to go Skaven. I thought I remembered that he played them. Banning Wood Elves and Beastmen. Two very good bans in the current meta. Some people think that you should ban Tomb Kings. Agree to disagree. I know a lot of good Skaven players hate facing Tomb Kings, but I've never found them to be a problem. It's just kind of a preference thing. But Beastmen is certainly a great ban. Okay. Those predictions, who on earth goes Trolls in this matchup? Dude, Stone Trolls, if they surround a dinosaur, Stone Trolls will murder it very, very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Ancient is a machine gun tank, Stag is Ballista, but Mazdamundi with 2 Dread Saurians in his Royal Guard. Jeremy. Mazdamundi with 2 Dread Saurians as his Royal Guard are the only real option. I think you can still only have 1 Dread Saurian in banner rules. I think. Stags also regain charge bonus. Yeah. It's kind of weird that you can't, as a spectator, you can't see what type of Night Goblins they are. It's kind of annoying. Kind of annoying indeed. Saloons apparently only need 1 cast to make them worthwhile. Good stuff from Swarv, good stuff from Maker. But, yeah. As for the Stone Troll point, I've had... Oh, what was that unit? Solostra, yeah. Solostra Direfin for the Vampire Coast. She has, I think, like 160 armor. big unit, decent amount of melee defense and stuff, so you'd think she'd be pretty good. And then one unit of stone trolls got next to her, and the enemy force passed them past me before attacking so that they fully surround you. She literally died in like 30 seconds. It was just really rough. Swarv going Dark Elves into Skaven. I would consider this an even matchup. I'm kind of surprised Swarv didn't take any of the counters that were available with Warriors of Chaos, Norska, or, again, debatably Tomb Kings. Dark Elves is very even. Their front line's pretty bad, so the Skaven can actually hold decently well. You'll win the artillery fight against Dark Elves. Morathi Double Manticore is, hard to deal with as per usual, but not the problem with it, but the reason Skaven can kind of fare better into that than most factions is the reason the Double Manticore is so tough is Morathi has minus 20 melee attack and an aura around her and minus 10 melee defense, so it's actually really hard to melee fight that goon squad, and it's just going to dive on top of you and do a bunch of stuff. But Skaven usually try to Howling Warp Gale and shoot you out of the sky, and Morathi's debuffs won't matter that much. Now, she's still very, very strong. I'm just saying Skaven are one of the few factions that can kind of deal with Morathi Double Manticore. So I'll be interested to see what Swarv's going to take here. Hank Cyrus saying Celestia only has 150 armor. It was close. It was close. It was 10 armor off. On a scale of 150 to 160, I don't think it matters that much. Don't think it matters that much. I'm looking at the Skaven build behind this blocker. It's pretty standard. It's pretty standard for what I'd go. There's a couple differences that I don't particularly enjoy, and we can talk about that. Yeah, there's one unit in particular I want to talk about once we get into the game, because I think it's a very large Skaven misconception. Noctilus with a couple crabs or crab and Bess would be interesting. Only one guard, but helping your ally with Bess could dominate. Tiago says this is Skaven favored. With the 2 Jezzails and Globes. Whoop, we lost Swarv. What'd you do? You spooked him. Alright, we lost Swarv for a second. Alright, we'll see if he comes back for a moment. I really want to talk about that unit, but I don't want to give away any of his build. And it's not like... So here's the thing with Skaven Slaves, where it's obvious he would bring it. It's kind of a specific unit. I know a different Skaven thing I can talk about. So, I don't know how many of you watch different content creators, but on Rubber Duck of War's stream recently, I was found to take Death Globe Bombardiers over the Poison Wind Globes. Sorry, Baker's just joking for 1 sec. Lizards go burr. Anyway. I think there's a place for Death Globes. I think a lot of Skaven players are sleeping on Death Globes. They're certainly not useful in every matchup, but they do excellent burst damage versus Armored Cav. And I've been struggling recently with Rat Ogres. If you countercharge Silver Helms or Empire Knights with Rat Ogres on top of Spears or with Wolf Rats nearby, you'll win, but you won't win that quickly. And also usually what happens with me is... the enemy will take 4, let's say, 4 Silver Helms, and you only have 2 Rat Ogres. If you countercharge 2 of them, the other 2 will just run past you, get into your backline, and mess a bunch of shit up. But recently I've found that if you skip the Rat Ogres entirely, but just go the Death Globes, the Death Globes nuke down cavalry units. So you just... I saw him on Steam. Just rejoined the game. Give it a sec. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Just trying to help out with this game while explaining this. But with the Death Globes, The thing is you bog down an infantry, right? And the problem with just having an infantry defense is that cav can push straight through it. That's true. But while they can push straight through it, they do slow down. And in that moment that they slow down, honestly, like 2 volleys from the death globes will shatter the unit. And you can definitely get that off in time. And then at that point, you're trading, at worst, a clan rat, but usually a Skaven slave. So let's say a clan rat, 325 gold for a 900 gold cavalry piece. That's a big trade-up for you. And I don't think Poison Wind is super good. Do not get me wrong at all. Poison Wind is super good, but it's slow, and it's when you're playing the long game. But if you're trying to stop someone from breaking your line, I think the Death Globes actually do have a place. That's my rant. We got the player back in the game. I successfully stalled for time. Let's go. Let's go. I can take down the blocker now, and I will keep this rant short, but now that we're in the game, Maker has the Council Guard, and I do not like the Council Guard in this matchup, and there are a couple other matchups I don't like them. You're allowed to disagree, but here's why. They're an elite halberd unit, and they're unbreakable. Great. Cool. Awesome. What are the Dark Elves going to bring here that you need to halberd down? They're either going to get shot by Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, or they're going to get Soul Sealed down by Marathi, or they're going to get Burning Headed by a Firecaster. I don't see a world in which they can get on top of what they want to get on top of and just slap it to death. And I feel like a lot of Skaven players do this. They just take the Council Guard because they can, and for the Guardian. But, I don't know. It might stop Marathi and the Double Manticores from diving into melee directly wherever they are. But if you keep on top of your Lord, I mean, they can still dive the Poison Wind Globes. If you keep on top of the Poison Wind Globes, they can dive your Lord. And if you keep everything so bunched up that the Council Guard can get wherever they need to go, Soul Stealer's is going to hit everything in your army, so already you're kind of fucked. So there's my mini rant about them. I don't enjoy it. Also, with Marathi's debuffs, they're going to have 12 melee attack. It's not ideal. Okay. The chat's talking about that not challenge, I guess, but that gimmick tournament I proposed, and it sounds like you guys are having a lot of fun with it. So is that something I should pursue, or are you guys just thinking it's fun in theory, but otherwise I should not do that idea? Okay. I'll get back to that after the game. So in the game we have the Grey Seer of Plague with the Dreaded 13th and Vermintide Summon. That's just the basic Clan Rat summon. Very good pick, especially considering what he's facing. He didn't know that, but a Dreaded 13th on top of a Bolt Thrower can instantly kill it. Now what Swarv did, which is very nice, is he did not put, I want a different color, he didn't put all of his Reaper Claw Bolt Throwers right next to each other, like artillery factions usually do, and you can defend them all with some Dark Riders and stuff. He spread them way out, so that if a Dreaded 13th is cast on this one and instantly nukes it, it has to walk all the way over here, and if you have even one Dread Spear unit to stop it or something, it'll probably disintegrate before it gets there. So that is great planning for him, and he is definitely avoiding that Dreaded the 13th spells. Other than that, we have 3 Poison Wind Globes, 4 Rat Ogres, a bunch of Clan Rats and Skaven Slave Spears, and 1 Wolf Rat unit. Do I see 2? I swore I saw 2 in the lobby. There's the other one. Iked Zap Zap is way in the back, and that is a good pick versus Dark Elves, because if you shoot Marathi with it, or the Supreme Sorceress to fire in this case, it resets their cooldowns, and that's the biggest thing. So they can't cast spells until they dodge 1 or 2 valleys, which can be hard to do, and it's taxing on their micro. So while they're microing her to dodge all those shots, they cannot micro everything else as effectively. Now for the Dark Elves, we have Cold One Knights and Dark Riders, so a decent amount of cavalry. Looks like 2 of each of those. 3 Reaper Claw Bolt Throwers, 1 Dark Shards with shields, I don't see any others, and then a Bleak Sword Dread Spear mixed front line. Decent, good chaff there. The Double Manticore we talked about, but instead of Marathi, we have a Supreme Sorceress of Fire with Burning Head. Those fireballs, if she overcasts them on Iked Zap Zap, she'll probably take out a cannon per overcast. And it looks like the Skaven of Maker immediately realized that they need to move up, knowing that there are 3 Reaper Claw Bolt Throwers, and I imagine all of them will be attacking the Grey Seer. He is very tall and quite easy to hit for them. Now this is interesting that he deploys Iked Zap Zap so far back. It's going to be out of range for a lot of the game here. So it has limited targets it can shoot. And the Dark Elves will dominate the mobile game if the Cold One Knights run up. So I do think Iked Zap Zap's going to be compromised, but at the same time, maybe Maker's counting on distracting these elite units and winning the frontline fight while they're distracted. Now that was a good Scorch prediction. It was a nice attempt, but it could not quite hit those Bleak Swords. Just as I mentioned before, Dreaded 13th comes down, nukes down this Bolt Thrower. But if this Dread Spear pulls back and just blocks him up for a little bit, I think he will stop the other one. And Maker gets a little ambitious. He relies on the explosion to take down that unit and doesn't stop and fight it, and it will actually rally and keep firing. He's going to need to turn around and take that out. It does look like the Supreme Sorceress of Fire is taking damage from It Gets Zap Zap. She's already down 1/3 of her health, and there's no healing for her. But that being said, the Grey Seer is at about half from all the Reaper Claw Bolt Thrower fire. Where are the Council Guard? Council Guard are moving up. They're trying to get involved with some Bleak Swords, but it looks like both Manticores are largely free and clear here. What's going on in the backfield? The Storm Vermin have abandoned this Reaper Claw Bolt Thrower. It still has all 3 models, so technically it hasn't suffered any real damage. Health damage, yes, but it still is 3 out of 3 firing. Fireball is being cast by this caster. I wonder where it's going to go. It looks like Swarv's plan is just to ignore It Gets Zap Zap for the course of this game. It looks like he's setting up for a rear charge with all these nice cavalry units. And there's the Burning Head we talked about, taking out a lot of the Council Guard. I wonder if that was overcasted or not, but it does do about half of their health damage. And these Dark Shards with shields are going to start shooting into them and doing great damage. Though there are a lot of targets for them to shoot. They need to shoot the Rat Ogres, they need to shoot the Council Guard, they need to shoot a lot of things. One of the Ferromanticores is on top of the Grey Seer with Plague, and taking him down quite effectively. He only has 34 melee defense, it has 40 melee attack, and he's still getting shot with these Bolt Throwers. I do think Maker's off to a tough start here. The Skaven are ahead on the balance of power, but if you lose your Lord, that is quite terrible for them. Supreme Sorceress of Fire still dodging around in the sky. One of the Manticores is at half health, but that Grey Seer is quite dead, and a Fireball's coming in on him with more Bolt Throwers, and now since he's breaking, he cannot dodge. His model will run in a straight line. It's getting sniped out. He is dead. Without him, the Skaven leadership takes a hit, and it's already pretty terrible. We can see Clan Rats starting to break, and if I were Swarv right now, I would take those Dark Shards and shoot at the Council Guard. Just take them out. Take out that center unbreakable piece. Now, there are Rat Ogres getting on top of him. He might have to pull back some units, but it looks like Cold One Knights are going straight for It Gets Zap Zap. The Wolf Rats have been pulled away at some point. Looks like they wanted to do some skirmishing, try to help out this desperate frontline fight, but without them to back it up, It Gets Zap Zap is as good as dead. Some basic Clan Rats in the back cannot defend it from Cold One Knights. Now, the Council Guard are alone in fighting, and this is where I usually see them in the game. They're the last thing that's left, but they can almost never carry the game for you, in my experience. There's one healthy unit of Rat Ogres, and it is in the back line. It can probably take out these Dark Shards, then bounce out and take out that, then bounce out and take out that. But I don't know if that's going to be enough for the Dark Elves to pull this game back at this point. Golden Knights are performing actually quite poorly against Clan Rats of Spears. That's surprising considering how elite they are. This Chaos Sorcerers of, the Supreme Sorceress of Fire might want to come down and just help them out with a rear charge or something. Or these Manticores, because they're taking way too much damage. Oh, it looks like Maker's shooting at them at point-blank range with It Gets Zap Zap. Yeah, that would do a lot of damage. I wonder if he's even manual firing it. Triple Bolt Throwers firing in on these Rat Ogres, though, is going to rout them off, even though they're uncontested in melee. And those Dark Shards will definitely rally. Council Guard is just getting swarmed with a bunch of Dark Elves. It's not how they're used to the matchup going. And an excellent Burning Head coming over here and shattering both these units will lead us to army losses. And that was an excellent game by Swarv and Maker. Well played by both sides. I just think, you know, Triple Reaper Claw Bolt Thrower all firing at the only Lord all game was an excellent play by Swarv. And he handled his cav quite well. Didn't over-engage, didn't under-engage, just knew how long to hold him, knew when to put him in. That was good stuff. Good stuff indeed. It Gets Zap Zap was, even though it was deployed way in the back, I mean, it really got its value back, so that's good for it. Good for it. Alright. Okay, so we got to go to the bracket and find our next match. Pugnabone and Energized are playing. So are Slade X and Chosen One. Slade X and Chosen One. Can I find you? Chosen One! Anticity's playing Biblington right now. And he started the stream fighting him. Dr. Jellyfish is in chat. He'll play the winner of that. We could probably hop in on whatever game that ends up being. People who play League +1. 1v1 scrims. Hey, Pyronado was in our chat earlier, and it looks like he's still fighting Chosen One. Or Chosen One advanced already? They're still in game, but Challenge says he advanced. That's weird. Okay. Volkmar double Beastcaster on a Griffin. Oh, you guys are still talking about that King of the Hill thing. Yeah, it sounds like you people want that to happen. I'll put up a poll on my channel soon. Cav seems to be almost in a good place. I've heard a lot about being bad right now, but it seems decent as you don't let it get punished. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah. I mean, that's my opinion. Spectate. Let's see what Energized and Pugnabone are up to. If we can catch this game as it starts, that'll be a good match. Energized and Pugnabone are both excellent players. I'd actually be pretty hyped. Yo. You played any games with Pug yet? Salad is a little... Kevin, I will get back to that question. I know I got distracted, but I got to get this stream thing set up. Just got to find a game with Energized. Anyway, Cav. Yeah, so the problem with Cav right now is you need, in a traditional sense, you should take halberds, or spears to beat them, right? But the way the game currently is there's a weird bug with great weapons where great weapons perform better than they should against armored cav. They should, like, if the armored cav are sitting perfectly still and you sprint great weapons at them, yes, you should massacre the shit out of them. That's how the game should work. But the problem is when cav are sprinting at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour, they should win the first 3 seconds of that fight. They should plow into you, do a bunch of damage, and win in that moment. And then after that, they should start to take a bunch of losses. Now, the problem right now is the great weapon infantry meet them on the charge and do as much damage as the cav do to them. Meaning, there's no reason to take halberds, essentially, if the great weapons can do well when the cavalry is sitting still and when the cavalry is charging. Now, that being said, Legend of Total War mentioned this on his stream, and I did like it. I'm a Skaven player. I don't have cav. So take your salt shakers out and put as many fucking grains of salt over this statement as you can. But I think if you're slamming cav straight into armor-piercing infantry, that's probably not the best way to play with cav anyway, and you're going to take a bunch of damage. And the better way to play with cavalry is to flank and get on top of archers and stuff. So while I agree, I wish halberds were better, I don't necessarily hate that cavalry have to be careful. I think cavalry need a little bit of a buff. But I don't want them to go back to the old way they were before the mass changes of infantry, where literally games could come down to 3 or 4 silver helms, kind of, not as bad, but kind of doing what the Tuskor chariots do right now, where they just slide through infantry like water, and they don't seem to care that your units are there, and it's like, no, in real life, if a horseman is surrounded by a bunch of, like, peasants, you know, they're gonna grab it from all sides and, like, drag the rider down into the dirt, and it doesn't matter how much armor you have. So I do... There is an in-between. Right now, if your cav ever get trapped in infantry, they're all dead. And that's not great. But it also used to be only cav could counter cav, and that's also kind of boring, because it sucks when, like, the only counter to something is that thing. And it's just not... It's not fun. If you have rock, paper, scissors, dynamite, and if either of you ever throws dynamite, the other better throw dynamite too. And it's like, well, then the game isn't rock, paper, scissors anymore, is it? It's just dynamite. Anyway, that was a weird analogy, but I hope that helped explain some things. I have to update the scorecard. Where are you, scorecard? There you are. So on the left side, we have Pugnabone of XMT. He's been in the top of a couple of my tournaments recently and the top of the speedrun challenge. Excellent, excellent player. And on the other side, we have Energized. I have seen him on Turin's channel a good number of times, and very far in some tournaments. I don't think he's played in any of my events, so this will be exciting to have my first experience with Energized. Yeah, Tiago. So the problem with the great weapons is that they're better than halberds at being halberds. Because both great weapons and halberds, I'll shut up about it after this. Great weapons and halberds should both kill cavalry when the cavalry is sitting still. But halberds should be better at killing cavalry on the charge. But what sucks is the great weapons also do that. And they're better at killing infantry than halberds are, so there's no reason not to take great weapons. There was always different counters to cav. Yeah, I enjoyed the struggle. I'm obviously I'm generalizing because guns and cannons can take out cav, but I'm saying that in the old days, halberd infantry, the Empire halberdiers were not meta for a very long time because cav could just run through them, and it's well, okay, why do we have halberdiers? But obviously if you have 5 cannons on a hill and you're firing down onto cavalry, yeah, those cavalry are going to die. But anyway, not the point. Hey, Pugnabone. In-game chat is either bugging or lagging hard. Hi. It does appear to be bugging. Sometimes with the spectator bugs, I wonder, are they just going to remake the lobby? Maybe. Energize versus Pugnabone. Well, we'll see. We'll see if this is the right lobby again. Nope. It's gone forever. I hope this is a different one. Nope. Still the same broken-ass one. Let's go see what Inticity's doing. Oh wait, did Biblington win? Actually, I don't know. Oh, Enticity did win. Okay. Hi. Alright, we'll check on Enticity and Dr. Jellyfish. Looks like Pugnabone and Energized had some lobby bugs, so we'll just find a game that's going. I will message Pug and make sure he doesn't wait for me. I found a different game. Don't wait up for me. Good luck, have fun. There. Maybe without a third person in their lobby, some of their bugs will clear up. So we have Enticity versus Dr. Jellyfish. It looks like Picks and Bans already happened. It looks like we will have Lizardmen versus Tomb Kings. Alright. We need to change the scorecards yet again. Now this one's weird. We've talked about it a decent amount in the recent days because it keeps coming up. But I personally think Lizardmen are favored in this matchup. Some people disagree, and I know Shopty Greatbow are very good. A build I really like is Krokgar on his T-Rex with Hand of the Gods that does a ton of damage to any Tomb King's Lord. And a bunch of Saurus to crunch through the front line, a couple Chameleon Skinks, and the ROR Salamander Hunting Pack. They can clear out Shopty Greatbow quite effectively, then clear out Tomb King's infantry. It's just a slow walk and grind style. I don't think it's easy matchup, but I do think it's quite doable for the Lizardmen. In Anticity's build, I saw something very similar to it yesterday. I'm not going to say it till we get into the game, just in case Dr. Jellyfish is still here, because I know he was in the chat. And I can't see Dr. Jellyfish's build. You can see I'm clicking on him and it's not doing anything because I'm not the host of this, so I can speculate on his build, but I know what Anticity's in. It's behind the screen blocker, so I will not say that. Real human being. Yeah, the spicy DMs between me and Pugnabone. There's some real tension there. Tiago, you're saying Foot Arkin? Why is that? To dodge some Hand of the Gods. It is nice to dodge Hand of the Gods with Foot Arcan, but you do have to be extremely careful if your Lord is a Foot character, because they can get gooned out pretty effectively. Obviously, they can't run away from a lot of their problems. And on an undead roster, I think, yeah, all 3 undead rosters, your Lord is your absolute 100% most important piece. They're usually your magic caster. Leadership is very important to the undead factions, because without it, they have super low leadership as a faction because they have the crumbling mechanic rather than running away. So if you lower that leadership even more, it's much more likely your army's going to crumble. And crumbling is slow, but you can think of it like an army-wide mortis engine effect. So it's nothing to laugh at. It's crumbling's crumbling and it hurts. Jeremy. Yeah, that was a spicy one. That was a spicy chat. I'm not going to mention either of the players here. If you want to know what's going on, you can go watch that video. But, yep, there are some people in the Total War community that are not best buds. In any community. I can take the blocker down now that we are in the game. And now I can talk about Anticity's build now that we're here. He likes to take 4 skeleton chariots. I don't know what the tech is behind this, but it performed quite well yesterday against... Who was Enticity fighting? I can't remember. But there was 4 skeleton chariots of Tomb Kings versus Lizardmen. The Lizardmen had a bunch of skinks. Skeleton chariots absolutely wrecked the skinks. I wonder how they'll do against Saurus if Dr. Jellyfish took Saurus. I imagine not great, but Enticity clearly knows what he's doing. We have 2 Shoppy Greatbow, neither of which is the Chosen of the Gods. That is very, very new. Skeleton Warriors and Spearmen are most of the front line. Ark in the Black on his horse, 2 Carrion on in the Sky, and 2 Nehekara Horsemen. Very nice build indeed. From Dr. Jellyfish, we have 2 Ripperdactyl Riders. Interesting stuff. They are anti-infantry, so I wonder maybe he was expecting Tomb Guard? I don't know. We'll see. That being said, they have anti-infantry in their title, but that does not mean they're terrible against larger units. We have Fire Leech Bolas in the Sky. Good stuff. 2 Chameleon Skinks on the ground for a little bit of poisoned arrow support. 4 Saurus Warriors, 3 Skink Jabs. The Umbral Tide Salamander Hunting Pack ROR. Yes! I love this unit! I'm so excited to see it! Okay. I'm excited to see it. Even if it doesn't do well, I always love to see it. Skink Beasts Caster with the Manticore Summon and Flock of Doom. Wait, that's the Manticore, right? It's not the Curse of Onrir. I'm paranoid now, even though I've seen this same image for years and years. Okay. Yeah, it is the Manticore Summer. Oxyodal up front, and a Skink Chief on the side. So 2 Oxyodal and Mini Oxyodal. I like these builds. Both these builds are very good. Legion saying, let me guess 4 chariots from Tomb Kings. VM guys have been playing 4 chariots for months. I remember Tank losing months ago to Kyle with it. Huh. Yeah, I hadn't seen it very much, though I haven't seen very much Tomb Kings in a while. I'll be excited to see how it goes. If it's old to you, I'm sorry, but if it's new to me, hell yeah. I'm always ready for some new stuff. Watching the same game over and over again can get a little boring, so I like it when players spice it up a little bit. Jeremy stole his build from Ice Power. Ah, that was probably who we saw yesterday. Was it Ice Power versus Lunacy, or was it Ice Power versus Taco in the finals? I don't know. I'm going to get rid of that tab so I don't have to see it anymore. I don't know who they're waiting on. No need to wait on me, GLHF. If they were waiting on me, that's a ripperoni. I can just talk while they slowly walk at each other. Arkan has Soul Blight. I've seen that crop up a lot since the buffs. Minus 30 armor, minus 25% both types of weapon damage. That's certainly good against Saurus. Their base 60 armor is a lot for basic infantry. Cutting it in half will be quite effective. Enticity immediately pulls back a little bit with his carrion while he assesses the situation. Not a bad idea when you see Ripperdactyls. Not a usual unit. And Oxyodal already poking in. He killed 1 skeleton warrior. Hell yeah. You can go home happy now, Oxyodal. Flying Taco's in the chat. Hey, Taco, how you doing? 4 chariots in every matchup? Really? Are they that good? I hadn't been seeing them for a long time. I still thought they were kind of shit. Is it with the new patch? Weird. This build is punishable by Lizardmen quite a lot. Yeah, I did mention Legion. I don't know if you were here, but before the matchup, I actually, personally, I like taking Lizardmen into Tomb Kings. I know a lot of people don't, but I do find they have some answers in this matchup. Dr. Jellyfish being very, very passive with his Umbral Tide, doesn't want to get it up in Ushabti Greatbow range. Currently it's stalking, and it looks like he's just waiting for the front lines to commit before he moves up. Now the Ripperdactyls are flying into the Carrion and doing excellent damage. Maybe this is why Dr. Jellyfish took him, just to secure the air game for himself. And that unit of Carrion is almost dead already. And another Ripperdactyl gets back onto the Ushabti Greatbow, and this could be a very, very rough start for Enticity. His right flank is collapsing, while the center also seems to be going to Lizardmen and the left. So Enticity is currently losing every flank, and the backfield is going to Lizardmen. He has to turn this game around very quickly, otherwise it will be a short one to cast. Salamander hunting packs have gotten in range. It looks like they're trying to fire into the Ushabti Greatbow, but they're partially obstructed by their own skinks. Damn you, skinks. One unit of Carrion is fully dead, and those Ripperdactyls are now going after the Ushabti. So it looks like Dr. Jellyfish is just sacrificing his Ripperdactyl riders to do some damage to the Ushabti Greatbows, but mostly stop them from firing while he secures the front line for himself. Salamander Hunting Pack and Oxyodal already pulling back as cavalry and chariots from the Tomb Kings blast into the Lizardmen lines and try to get back onto some high-value targets. One of the Ripperdactyls has shattered, and that is an expensive unit to lose, and the Ushabti are rallying a bit. They have 7 models after some crumbling, but now they are not going to crumble very much longer. I would not hate seeing these Ripperdactyls getting pulled over here to finish off the weakened unit rather than partially weaken yet another unit. Lizardmen are still winning the front line that we mentioned before. The Feral Manticore summon coming in from Dr. Jellyfish it looks like it's going after some chariots, just doing some good work where it can. This Skink Chief is getting attacked by Carrion, and its leadership is low, but Carrion aren't actually that dangerous, so it looks like some chariots are going to get pulled over to actually do some of the damage. Ripperdactyls in the back are currently getting zoned out a little bit by some skeleton chariots, and Enticity has secured both of his Ushabti Greatbows, both 7 models left, and they are now firing into the Salamander Hunting Pack, which is currently being attacked by the Ushabti summon that can bypass all front lines in existence. Dr. Jellyfish should pull him back, just run away until the Ushabtis wear off. Their health is quite low, but their model count is high. If they come back in the late game, that'll be a very big win for the Lizards. What is going on with the map? Lizard Flying Corps has been entirely shut down. Their infantry are still largely winning, though their quote-unquote weapons teams are currently offline. Oxyodal's fine, plenty of health, plenty of ammunition. He can poke in on these Ushabti Greatbows, and the Skink Chief of Beast is getting into melee combat with the Ushabti. That is ballsy. I have not seen that in a very long time. This Skink Chief is being a tanky little expletive deleted and not going away, even though he's being countercharged by chariots right now, and it looks like the Tomb Kings are actually pulling ahead on the balance of power. Now these Ushabti are going to crumble away, and these Chameleon Skinks really have to peel these Carrion off of the Umbral Tide. The Umbral Tide have accidentally run into some Nehekara horsemen, and that is going to be a big loss for Dr. Jellyfish. They're going to run straight off the map with the horsemen nearby. Sorcerer's still bumping and grinding in the front line, doing very well, and the Skink Chief of Beasts in the back is about to break. Some Ripperdactyls are running in to try to support him. Maybe he can rally, but they're going to get immediately Spirit Leech, and the Skink Chief breaks. It was a very good start by the Lizardmen. I think a few mistakes with their Salamander hunting packs and a little over-aggression by their mage cost them. Also, the Ripperdactyl Riders' initial play was nice, but I think fully committing them and leaving them in the fight might have been a bit of a mistake from Dr. Jellyfish. It was cool tech. I do not hate the Ripperdactyls. Seeing what they did to Carrion to secure the air advantage was very, very good. Maybe if you paired them, instead of with Chameleon Skinks, you take 2 or 3 Pterodon Riders, so you have the Ripperdactyls clear the sky, but then your Pterodons can dominate from there on. And usually in this matchup, the only range the Tomb Kings are going to have are the Ushabti, so if the Ushabti are shooting your Pterodons, the Salamander Hunting Pack could push up and shoot. Or if you're shooting the Salamander Hunting Pack, you can dodge with them and have the Pterodons walk up and poke them down. So I don't hate the build. I think Dr. Jellyfish just needed to play it a little bit differently, but that's just my opinion on it. Personally, at this point, I don't think the Lizardmen can come back. A lot of their balanced power is tied up in Oxyodal, and he cannot solo carry this game at this point. We have wounded skirmishers, wounded Saurus Warriors, 1 half-health unit of Saurus Warriors, and that's about it. So I do think the Lizardmen are running out of carry potential in this game. Arkin's chasing off the Skink Priest of Beasts. He can come back and Spirit Leech down some stuff. That is Arkin, right? Yep, that's him. His banner was just a little hidden. And I will check chat while this slowly grinds down. I don't think ever bringing more than 2 chariots is good as Tomb Kings. It's a weird interaction with chariots where you ram them in front and stack on top of each other. So Legion's just saying that chariots have kind of got this weird stacking mechanic right now. Very good. 4 is overkill. Yeah, Taco and Legion just discussing meta stuff in the chat. And as I mentioned, I think we're just a slow grind to death here as Oxyotl waits to die. I don't think he can kill all these Ushapti, Ark in the Black, all these Skeleton Warriors and Spears, and the Chariots, and he's pretty much the only thing left on the map. Not trying to be dismissive of the game, just acknowledging the reality we're currently in. And with Ark coming back, with Spirit Leech, Oxyotl's days are very, very, very numbered. I thought this match was going real bad for Tomb Kings at the beginning. Yeah. I agree, Jeremy. Like I was saying at the start, I think the start was very, very good for the Lizards. Just a couple misplays with the Salamander hunting pack and an overcommitment of the Ripperdactyl Riders could be the changing of the game. And not to tear Dr. Jellyfish down. He played this probably better than I would have with that army. Just pointing out for my armchair because I could see the whole map and I'm not playing right now. If he had taken those Ripperdactyls, charged the Ushapti, and as soon as support came, pulled them away, flew up in the sky, and sat there, and then Enticity always has to have decently elite units ready to protect, right? Because the Skeleton Spearmen can walk up and try to protect, but it's not going to do that much damage. So he probably has to keep 1 or 2 chariots in reserve, maybe the Nehekara Horsemen, and you're just harassing. You're just annoying him. You're that ever-constant threat that he has to pay attention to, rather than fully committing them, because we saw both of those Ripperdactyls did about half health on an Ushapti unit, and what are they? If anybody in chat knows their specific price, maybe Flying Taco, you're a Lizardman player. Ripperdactyls are what? They're like, they're over 1,000 gold, right? They're not cheap. So throwing away 2 pretty expensive units like that just to do half health on a unit that's about as expensive, it's not a monetary worth it trade. But we'll see if Taco replies to that, if he's even still around. Guy Fox Gamer Heal 100. I don't have context for that, but I agree. Nice. I'll just randomly harass this individual for no reason. Yeah. So they're about the same cost as an Ushapti Great Bow. And they traded half-half. A little more conservative with them, and I think it'll be okay. Hey, Guy Fox Gamer! Yay! Somebody responded to my shitty memes. Okay. Anyway. It looks like we have very quick pick and bans for the next round. Enticity, I'll change the score in a second. Enticity, I'll go Vampirates next, ban Wood Elves and Vampire counts. 2 pretty standard bans among the Vampirates. Dr. Jellyfish immediately going Dwarves. Dwarves are traditionally good into Vampire Coast, but I know Anticity's talked to me about this matchup before, and he actually feels pretty confident in it. It's not easy, but he feels confident in it. So we'll see if his confidence is rewarded. I think the one time I've streamed this matchup of him, he did win it, but I can't remember who he was playing at the time. Enticity will go 1-0 up. Let's see what Dr. Jellyfish has. Plains of the Dead. This is largely a flat map, if I remember correctly. I think a little bit of a bump in the terrain, but nothing too bad. Dwarves probably should take artillery superiority. Either the Grudge Thrower ROR or multiple cannons. And Anticity's build is different than mine for this matchup, but the same idea. Jeremy, I know exactly what Anticity's taking. Well, there's a screen blocker up, so if you do know that, it's not my fault. I'm doing my job. Was he just streaming quick battles this morning, or you've mentioned twice now that you're watching him this morning? Park Map, another excellent player in the chat. What is up, my dude? Enticity playing this matchup is always fun. Is anything versus dwarves ever fun, park map? Is it? I know RTK Houseplant actually really likes the dwarf versus dwarf mirror, but outside of that, I don't think very many dwarf matchups are particularly enjoyable. I don't hate dwarves. That sounds like I'm a dwarf hater. Dwarves are my third, I don't want to say favorite, third best faction that I play. So I play a good amount of them. I just don't think they're particularly interactive on either side. If Dr. J watched the same video, he talked about how to beat his beards and belts, lads. Yeah. I love the Dwarven lore. I love their voice acting. And one of my favorite lines in the whole game is when you click on Thunderers and they're just like, Thunderers! That shit's my jam. But playing against them is usually just slow. Slow. Oh, and their campaign. Don't even get me started on the Dwarven campaign, dude. It's a slog. I usually have to have a documentary or a Total War stream on the other screen. Because you sit in your hold and you build buildings, and by the time the Chaos Invasion comes, you maybe have 2 armies. Maybe. Okay, we're getting into the game. I can take the screen blocker down. We can talk about Anticity's build and whether or not Jeremy knew it perfectly. We have... Where are you? Queen Bess. Now, this is different. I do like Queen Bess versus Dwarves. The one thing I do enjoy is putting a Rotting Promethean, I always say that, Rotting Leviathan right in front of it, so that a cannon's direct area of fire just hits the Promethean, and the Queen Bess can actually trade against him quite effectively. Anticity also took 1 mortar and 1 cannon to deal with rangers and or gyrocopters, respectively. I think we have 3 sirens. I don't see a 4th. A lot of sirens, though, to rely on the dwarves' natural lack of magic damage in most of their compositions. 3 deckhand mobs, 1 depth guard to clear through any slayers that may show up. Double gunnery white, neither with Scab Scraith. That's interesting. And a vampire fleet admiral with pistols and Invocation to Heck. No summon, just Invocation to Heck. That's a little unique. I would have guessed different spells and different ability setups. We had 2 Fellbats and 1 deck dropper with the normal pistols. So very foot-centric cannon build from Enticity. But here we have the double Dwarven cannons, and I do think if they both shoot at Queen Bess from the very start, I think the dwarves can win the artillery fight. Without something to block those cannonball shots, I think they'll be in real big trouble. We have the Skyhammer Gyro Bomber and a normal gyrocopter with steam guns in the sky. That's an exciting pick. Really have to dodge the cannon fire from the cannonades. With that, double Master Engineer, both with Fiery Ring of Thori and Smoke Bomb. 1 unit of miners with blasting charges. No, we have 3. They're just set up on the flanks. 3 units of rangers in the middle, and 1 warrior's Dragonfire Pass, another dwarf warrior. Actually 5 miners with blasting charges total. What do we have for ranged units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, shit. 5, 9, 12. How did he swing this? I guess miners don't count. Shit, the blocker's still up. I swore I moved it. Oh, I moved the nameplates. No! No! There we go. Sorry. I don't know if this is a rule break. We'll ask after the game. Yes, sorry. I got a little distracted by that blocker thing. Who's the Lord? Thork Ironbrow. With, it looks like the Rune of Slowing, the Rune of Wrath, and what's that triangle one? I never remember the triangle one. I don't care about the Vampire Caster right now. Rune of Speed. Got it. So no Slayers. Cannons are having to advance to counterfire against Queen Bess. And it looks like the gyrocopters in the sky took some damage, probably from the cannons, maybe from the gunbats. Nope, gunbats weren't close enough. It might have also been the gunnery whites. I'm going to favor the dwarves here. I think Enticity is an excellent player, but I don't know about this. The Sirens can be handled by double Fire Ring of Thori. I believe it does magic and fire damage. I would check, but I got to focus on this right now. Yes, I know there's a blocker. And thanks, Legion. I was really proud of this thumbnail. I thought it was very funny. Low effort, but very funny. Queen Bess is still uncompromised in firing. I wonder if the Dwarven cannons are in range yet. It looks like they're firing at Fell Bats. Which, while they're doing good damage on the Fell Bats, I think they really gotta shut down Queen Bess right now. Sirens are getting on top of the Rangers. Dr. Jellyfish has to pull them back quite soon. Some blast charges are being thrown at them, but it might be too little, it might be too late. In the sky, the gyrocopters have been attacked by more Fellbats, and these Fellbats are trading up. While they are dying in melee, they're still distracting the gyrocopter, which is a better and more important unit. Sirens have already killed these Rangers, and I wonder, the double Master Engineers have to get their fire rings involved. One is cast, and it does pretty good damage on that Siren. And another has to be cast soon. I would probably cast it right about here. Or maybe once these guys form a nice line, but that second one has to be cast. Has to. Queen Bess has not been shut down. One of the cannons is down because of the Fellbats, and the other one, it looks like, is about to go the same way. Anticity's off to a very early lead. Bounce Power doesn't say so, but I say so. As all these Rangers are shut down and running, cannons are all shut down and running, and it's already down to pretty much Thoric and the Master Engineer. Anticity's double gunnery whites are safe, and honestly, since if he shuts down this cannon, he could just retreat and kite this out with his mortars, Queen Bess, and cannon advantage. Put back the blocker. Similar, there's only Bess in his previous build and more gun. I think he still got this. Those Sirens are going to roll up the shorties. Yeah. Yep, some people commenting a little further back in the video because of the delay. But it does currently look like the Vampire Coast is off to a good start. Is that Fire Ring of Wrath and Ruin? It does not do magic damage, it does fire damage. Those Sirens largely took it in stride, and the Scurvy Dogs are going to get right back on top of those Rangers that almost rallied. The Dwarves are trying to form a little death box, reform the lines, as they say, but it's hard to form a death box when your opponent has the ranged advantage. So Enticity doesn't really mind if you regroup. He's just going to shoot you anyway. He doesn't really care where you're standing on the map. He just wants to shoot you. Depth Guard are very injured, but they've pulled back. Maybe some Invocations of Knack can help them. We know Enticity doesn't have to waste any of his magic on summons, because he didn't even take summons. The double gunnery white, able to give Bess more ammo whenever she needs it. I do think Enticity can dictate the pace of this game, and slowly but surely win. Ooh, I wonder if we can get a cannon shot right down this Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, positioned in such a fashion. That would do a lot of damage. Oh, we saw command orders coming in. Come on, cannons, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to see that go straight down the line. Ah, that missed. No, you all missed, and now Dr. Jellyfish realized the positioning error is going to move them. That would have been so hyped to see what go down the line, just all the way through. Okay. What can the Dwarves do to still win? The Skyhammer is still online, still firing. Good amount of ammo. Gyrocopters still have 2 out of their 3 original models. Firings of Thori still exists for the Sirens, I suppose. I'm surprised Bounce Power is still this far in the Dwarves' favor. There's still 3 healthy units of Sirens running around. All 3 cannon pieces are uncompromised. The gun bats are uncompromised. Yeah, Anticity's got this. Tiago saying Dwarves don't feel like a counter to Vampire Coast anymore. Maybe they're not. Maybe the times they are changing. Hey, Cyrus, your casting sucks, get better. Aww. 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 Okay. Thor campaign was pretty good, you thought? I'm just reading chat at this point. We're going to watch Thoric slowly waddle after the gunnery whites in the background. Just went and checked out the stream you mentioned. Jeez. I found Thoric's campaign to be a bit better. Blocker. Captain Morgan, what's going on here? We are spectating some games from Anticity's tournament. He wanted me to cast it for him so he could focus on being a badass. Turn intensifies. Yeah, I think it's because of the blocker. Not versus Anticity's anyway. It's specifically the Sirens that break the Dowie backbone. Yeah. They've been a pretty good pick for a while. I just think recently Anticity's really overloaded on them. I think Vampire Coast used to take maybe 1 or 2, and Enticity takes 3 or 4 these days. The Dwarves are slowly dying. Slowly dying. Hank Cyrus, you're bullying me. Stop bullying me. I'm doing my best. We'll be even better in Warhammer 3 once magic resist won't affect attacks. Yeah, Kelligar, what's not to put you on the spot here, but what's that about? People keep mentioning that magic is getting changed in Warhammer 3, but I haven't paid that much attention. I don't usually like to... Yeah, I don't usually pay attention to the trickle feed of information. I just wait for the game to, like, come out before I really pay attention to what it's going to change. So what's changing with magic resist? Something about it? Because you said it doesn't affect attacks. Does that mean that, like, spells get affected by magic resist, but not magical attacks? I don't know. Real human being, my alt account is saying Anticity's just too baller. I agree. Queen Bess is out of ammo. It doesn't look like Enticity cares to give it anymore because there's nothing left to shoot at. Almost everything's a single entity. Gun bats are kiting out gyrocopters that are now out of ammo. Get me out! Get me out! This is over! If Thor can carry all of this, that's a problem in and of itself. Very nice fiery ring cast, along with the flash bomb, but Enticity does dodge a good amount of it. Thoric's still fighting. He's getting shot by all 3-foot characters. Let me out! Let me out here! Spell resistance is a thing now, so magic attacks are different. Magic resist will be equal to spell resist. It can only affect casted spells. Okay, cool. So it looks like they'll get separated in Warhammer 3. I don't know if I like that change, but that doesn't mean I dislike it. It just means I haven't thought about it. Yeah, because I don't have that many problems with how magic currently works in Warhammer 2. But we'll see. Probably a good change if it's being made. CA gets a lot of shit, but I'd say most of their changes are for the better. They just don't always do all the changes we want in the community, if that makes sense. But it's like, yeah, the mass changes needed to happen. They overdid it a bit, but it needed to happen. That kind of thing. So, usually the changes are good. Queen Bess and the cannons getting shockingly little value. Like, shockingly little. Altogether, they almost paid for Queen Bess. Gunnery Whites and Vampire Caster all did great. Sirens almost paid for themselves. Gun Bats more than paid for themselves. Deck Guard almost paid for themselves. But we did talk about this in many other streams. I'll keep it short. A lot of Dr. Jellyfish's build was tied up in ammunition, and you can't kill ammunition, so Anticity's numbers are all going to be very low. Other than that, decent value on the Hero Squad miners, but not enough to pay for themselves. Skyhammer struggled against all these ethereal units. Yeah. Arg trying to blind doesn't counter. Something. Something. Finish him! Ah, the demons are going to work a specific way and they need it or something? Okay. And we're into the semifinals soon. Pugnabone and Energized are fighting to get... I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you. I don't need to talk at you. I can bring you with me. Boom. We have Enticity waiting for his opponent and Ice Power waiting for his. I will ask... This is Anticity's show. So I'll ask if he wants to... He wants me to do both semifinals or let the other semi run. Hey, boss. Want both semis cast or for players to continue without me? It's your show. Okay. So we'll see. Ice Power managed to defeat Swarv. We saw Swarv in the first game we cast. Certainly a good player, and Ice Power is also very good. Park Maps in the chat. Ice Power managed to beat him as well. Anticity has beaten Biblington, a mod and a great player, and Dr. Jellyfish, another great player. And it sounds like... Okay. We will cast whatever semifinal is ready first. What was I saying? Yeah. It sounds like I was really harsh on Dr. Jellyfish. And while I criticize... It's a lot of things are going to sound that way, right? When you talk about how a game could have been better, you're going to focus on the mistakes that were made, not, the interesting bit was the Ripperdactyls, because I hadn't seen them before, and they were getting a lot done. And then when they were shut down, it was critical to the game. What wasn't critical to the game were all the things Dr. Jellyfish was doing quite well. You know, his Saurus were pushing up, his Skink Skirmishers were performing quite well, Oxyota was poking quite well. They're just not interesting to talk about. So that stream sounded very negative for Dr. Jellyfish, but he played pretty well. The first game versus Enticity was close. The second game wasn't as much, but Enticity's apparently very good at taking down dwarves. So he's a good player. Slade X and Chosen One fighting to see who gets to fight Enticity. I would be surprised. I'd be surprised if Chosen One didn't make it. I don't know how much he's been playing recently, but from what I remember, he is an exceptional player, and Slade certainly has an uphill battle ahead of him. I don't think it's unwinnable. I'd say it's about 35-65 matchup for Chosen One. Pugnabone and Energized, I literally have no idea who's going to win that. They're both very good. I haven't cast enough Energized games to really know his play style, but from what I've seen on Turn's channel, he's good. And Pug is definitely good. He's been in a lot of my tournaments. So we'll wait for that. See what's going on. Who messaged me? Who messaged me? Cyrus. Why? Cyrus is cyberbullying me about me getting cyberbullied. That's sad. Okay. Magic attacks aren't going to be blocked by magic resist. Always a good day when beardlings get pirated. Hey, Anticity's in the chat. How's it going, dude? Jeremy, can you do a worst build tourney where you pick the other player's setup? No, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about this. It was told to me in confidence, but there's another content creator who will be making an announcement about that very soon. And I really don't like doing other people's ideas. So it was his idea, Jeremy. But what you just mentioned, that worst build tourney, it's coming, but not from me. It's coming, but not from me. Okay, how are we doing? Ice Power, Pugnabone, Energized. Still waiting on that. Slade X and Chosen One still waiting. Phoenix messaged me. I work 4 days and 4 days off. Monday through Thursday night. Okay. Okay. Enticity, you think that's been done for? Yeah. But I still don't, if that other person's going to do it within the next coming days, I don't really want to, I don't want to cramp their style. Salad is a little slow, you guys. Fine, I'll go watch that with, well, fine then. I'll go watch that with hookers and blackjack. That's such an old reference. When did Futurama come out? Left screen. Because that was in episode 2 of Futurama. 1999. That reference was in 1999 and we all still get it. That's kind of shocking. That was a good show, though. I recently started watching it with Miss Rat, and she finds it okay. She really likes Bob's Burgers and Rick and Morty and stuff. Oh, who wants my attention now? Okay, I'll check that out later. She watched Rick and Morty's and Bob's Burgers like on repeat. And I'm trying to get her to branch out a little bit. I told her that if she likes those shows, she would like Futurama. She's been watching a bit of that. I see Pugnabone versus Energized Lobby. But I don't really want to bug them out. How are we doing on challenge? Okay, chilling. We'll see what they're doing. If they're on game 3 or something, at least we'll know how long we have to wait. Hey, lads. What game is it? We're just gonna sneak in here. Let's go! Hype. All right, we get to see the results. We skip straight to the season finale of Pug versus Energy. The concept of energy. Boom. I'm a professional. Oh shit, I clicked on Energize's build. Blocker! Blocker, where are you at? There we go. Good. Energize picked Chaos. Beastman and Vampire counts, banned Vampire counts. It's been lagging before caster came in. It doesn't crash with the caster. We'll see. Okay. Fingers crossed, lads. I believe in you. We might get a game. Might get a game. Crack and Jack. I'll go back. Ooh, Buzz. Real human being Buzz isn't gay anymore? What? What are you talking about? Dwarfs as well, no taste. Fine man of Rick and Morty. Legion, Pug versus MC squared. That's good. That's good. What's going on with the DMs here? Legion. Oh. Left screen. Boom. Legion's on stream. Also, I love your cat picture, dude. That makes me laugh every time I see it. Mortis. Who's doing the terrible build tourney, just in case someone I'm not already following? I'm not going to say who it is, Jeremy, but I am going to carefully type it right in front of the whole stream. Go check him out. He's a good content creator. Nice dude, too. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. That's illegal. That's illegal. I can't promote other content creators. That's illegal. All right, back to the action. Wait, where's the scorecard? There it is. All right, last one. Last one. Flying Taco wanted to say hi, stream. Look at him. He's a little taco with a jetpack. He's flying. Look at him go. He's having his day. All right, that's it. No more messages going on stream. We're done. We're done. There was a lobby before called Buzz is Gay. Oh. Well, good for Buzz. He's living his best life. He's getting out there. Go get it, Buzz. Is the map Blood Pine Woods? Or are we just hovering? Ooh, it is Blood Pine Woods. Blood Pine Woods is a good map. Good map. Medium-sized. Half of it's covered in forest. Oh. Legion Taco says hi. Oh, fine. I'll show him. Because he deserves it. Hi, Taco. Is there a taco emoji? There has to be. Come on. Because they have a whole food section. How do they not have tacos? Flatbread pizza. Hey, taco! Yeah! Okay, now we're done. I mean it. I mean it. Give us the Turin DMs, Ratman. The Turin DMs would be me messaging him 5 or 6 times, and then him messaging me back saying, oh, I didn't see these. Yes. It would not be very entertaining at all. All right. Pugnabone ended up picking dwarves and banning beastmen. So if we scroll all the way back up, Energized has Chaos and Vampire counts to pick against dwarves, and he picked Chaos. Pugnabone's ready. Good luck, have fun. And in our interview with Zero, who was a very good Chaos player, he thought this matchup was quite favored for Chaos. So we'll see if Energize can live up to the Zero. We will see. Anybody joining, wondering what the hell's going on with the scoreboard? I was just having some fun. I joined this game really late. We're in game 3, so whoever wins this next game wins the thing. I will go back and make it slightly more serious. One pug. Space. And can I get the verses? MC. No. MC squared equals 1. There. That's slightly more cohesive to what the hell's going on here. Chat's just spamming tacos now. I hope you're happy, Flying Taco. I hope you're happy what this has come to. Y'all are silly. I do have to say, see, it was written in the code. Whatever. I do have to say, it is much more entertaining to sit in a lobby with a chat that's actually active than when I first started streaming and I had maybe like 4 or 5 people watching at any point in time, and the lobby was just me sitting in the infinite silence of YouTube, just like, gotta fill time all by myself. Flying Taco, bring a pineapple to a taco party. That is wrong. Pineapple does not belong on pizza, does not belong on hamburgers. It belongs in the ocean or in the garbage. Those are the 2 places. Those are the 2 places. I hope this isn't controversial, but fuck pineapple. I did a whole thing. Hammond, very clever, using a plane and a taco to represent Flying Taco. It's good stuff. And shit, I did the scoreboard again. There we go. Move the blocker out of the way. We're back up to 299 seconds, meaning the players have successfully loaded in, and they did warn us of lag ahead of time, so we're going to really hope that we do okay. Okay, blockers down. We're all good. So for the great, the wise, the mighty Pug Nabone, we have Ongram Iron Fist, butt naked. We have a bunch of Dwarf Warriors and Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, along with the Dwarf Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. 3 Slayers, 4 Rangers with great weapons, 2 regular Rangers, and a cannon. No caster for the Dwarves. Chat. I don't love that. I'd like to see a metal caster on the Dwarves, but to each their own. Alright. What else is going on over here? Chaos Marauders, Chaos Warriors with great weapons. Across the front line, it looks like, and then some basic Marauders on the side. We have 2 Exalted Heroes and a Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Death. All on Manticores. Hey, Taco, in the chat, can you have 3 Manticores? Legion? Either of you 2? I know you're very good players, and I don't really want to pull up the rules right now, but can you have 3 Manticores? Oh, wait, this is Anticity's, like, quick battle rules thing. I think you can. Let me scroll up. Hold on. Max 2 nets between single entities. Otherwise, are fine. Yep, okay. It's fine. It's fine. Doesn't matter. If you can or can't have 3, it doesn't matter. In this tournament, you can. I forgot for a second. Alright. Chaos Chariots on one side with 2 armored Chaos Trolls. Hey! I know Butcherbird is here right now, but Butcherbird would have loved this. He loves armored Chaos Trolls. Yep. Chat. You can't have 3 Manticores, but this is a different tournament. I forgot for a moment. My bad. We're there. And now the delay is coming in, so Legion and Enticity are yelling at me about being an idiot. Alright. In the backfield, we have some Marauder Horsemen. No throwing axes, so they might have a little bit of a hard time doing any real effective damage over here. Yeah, Flying Taco in the chat saying, my bad. Yeah, it's your bad. You did this to the stream. Alright. Who do I think is going to win this? It's a tough call. This is a solid Chaos build. I mean, it's solid. There's no real holes in it I can see. I don't think the double Chaos Marauder Horseman guys, I don't think they're going to get a lot of value personally. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. But I also don't think there's enough stopping power. This front line for the Dwarves is going to collapse extremely quickly, in my opinion. And then all these ranged units are going to be forced to run. So I'm going to bet on Chaos. But Pugnabone has proven me wrong before. And look at that damage on the chariots. Ooh, boy. Ooh, howdy. That is some good stuff right there. Huh. Why only 2 Mantis Legion? Take the Scroll Capel and Warlock Engineer? Yeah. Anyway. I'll stop reading chat. I'll focus on the game. These Manticores are advancing very close to the edge of the map, but none of them are feral, so their leadership's actually pretty high, and they can't just be sniped and run off immediately. And it looks like Energize is going to take his time and slowly surround the Dwarves. Now that he's dodging actively with the Chariot, I don't think he's too worried about the damage the cannon can do. I might switch the cannon on the Armored Chaos Trolls. They're less likely to dodge. I think he gets more good value there. Jeremy, whoever Human Boy Yes says, I think the opposite's going to win. Hey! 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 Fight me! Deadly Bunny's asking why I'm casting it on Enticity, because Enticity wanted to focus on his tournament and kicking ass. He didn't really want to focus on casting as well. So he asked that I do it for once. I don't think he's done forever. I just think he just wanted to take a break and for once have a tournament he could just play in. Which is understandable. I get that. Slayers are taking a little bit of poke, and immediately Pugnabone's going to pull them away from those Marauder Horsemen, not let them get the free value on the Slayers, and now the front lines are finally connecting. Let's see if my prediction is right about how quickly Chaos can work their way through this. The Chaos Chariots are very, very injured already, but I don't think they're not the Gorby's Chariots. I think they're only like 700 golds. That's honestly not that bad for Chaos. The Exalted Heroes and their Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Death are now starting to get involved. He only brought Spirit Leech. That's actually very surprising. I know Spirit Leech can be good, but you'd think you want like Purple Sun or something. There's no way he's going to get all of his mana off in this game. When you're fighting Dwarves, mana is your biggest benefit over them. Their units are going to be better than yours because they don't have any magic. Anyway, I digress. Dwarven frontline is taking a ton of damage like we talked about with Chaos Trolls helping out. It is certainly going poorly for them, but one unit of Chaos Warriors Great Weapons has been pushed off by all of the Ranger fire. And the Manticores are starting to get involved now. Slayers are getting back on top of these the Deathcaster and the Exalted Hero, and a little bit of lag coming in. Hopefully that will subside. So far the game's been going quite well, so I have high hopes. I do think Chaos has taken a lot of abuse on the front line, and I didn't realize that that was a Sorcerer of Death and that they didn't have Flamestorm or Burning Head. I would definitely prefer a Firecaster here. Maybe I'm wrong. I suspect the Spirit Leech... Ah, okay, that was it. The Spirit Leech was for Gyrocopters because otherwise he didn't have a lot to deal with them. His 2 Marauder Horsemen didn't have throwing axes, so he brought the Spirit Leech for the Copters. Got it. Rangers with great weapons throwing in, and Ice Power's here. Ice Power will be fighting whoever wins this battle. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. He is also the winner of our first Dreaded 13th qualifier yesterday, so congratulations in the chat for Ice Power. Let's see some hand claps. And this Chaos Sorcerer of Death is helping break the front line down so these Chaos Warriors with great weapons can push further through. Chaos Trolls have plenty of health for a unit, but they are getting low because of their low leadership. And Exalted Heroes have gotten on top of the cannons, but the Dwarves still have a lot of bodies left in here. A lot of bodies. Slayers are in here fighting Chaos Marauders, and I do think the Dwarves are going to win. Just like Jeremy said, I will always be wrong, but hey, I can't be beautiful and smart, alright? I take the hits. I take the hits where I can. Everything's falling apart for Chaos. Their Lord and Hero squad is largely still totally fine, but they're down to... Their Infantry Corps is all extremely battered. Chaos Trolls are quite damaged as well. One unit has decent health, but it's going to run out of support pretty soon. And the Dwarven ranged units are running away, but we still have plenty of Slayers, plenty of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, and I'd say Chaos is in a very good position. Little bit, another quick lag spike here. Another quick lag spike indeed. The Marauder Horsemen over here have plenty of ammo, but they're non-armor-piercing shots. They're still going to struggle because even Rangers have shields and 40 armor. Rangers with great weapons don't have any shields, but they still have the 40 armor, and it looks like they are going to get a rear charge here coming in. That'll be a nice leadership debuff. I don't think they'll do a lot of damage, but I do think Energize is just trying to quickly break this formation and get some pressure off the Chaos Trolls. Now, Chaos Trolls are surrounded by Slayers, and even though they don't have armor piercing, their anti-large and high weapon strength will get them through a lot of that armor anyway. You can see already the Chaos Trolls are starting to break with all that fire. Ungrim Iron Fist is also over here. He is a world beater when it comes to large monsters, so I think this area for the Dwarves is going to go very, very well. On the other flank, Chaos has a bit more of a fighting chance, but again, there's a lot of Dwarves around here. Now, the one trick for them is that it's a lot of ranged units with only one Dwarf Warrior with great weapons really around here to help out. But I still think the Dwarves are going to be in the commanding position here. Chat's popping off. I'll check it after this game. Exalted Hero is chasing off some units. And the Dwarves are having a bit of a rout coming in. But you can see that Pugnabone has very excellent control of his ranged units. He doesn't have the habit I have where I feel like I have to get my ranged units completely alone, set up all by themselves before they can shoot. He's just accepting they're going to get compromised and taking what shots he can in close range, not bothering to pull them away because there's nowhere to pull away to. That is very good, getting what value you can out of them. It's taking a good situation, not a great situation. Slayers are going to protect these Rangers from Chaos Marauders in the back. And it looks like these Chaos Warriors with great weapons are just going to opt into the fight with the Dwarf Warriors. Balance of power still very even, but I am on Team Dowie for the win here, even though I predicted Chaos would win. The cannons are reorganizing. If they can get a couple shots in, just like that on Chaos Sorceress of Death, and I think that even maybe hit that Manticore in a nice 2-for-1. And if Ungrim gets on top of this Chaos Sorcerer of Death, that's going to be very bad for him. And he charges straight into it, straight into the jaws of death. Get out of there, buddy. Run! Run! Oh, he's getting slapped in the back by Ungrim. That is going to be really, really bad for him. What is left? It's pretty much 2 Exalted Heroes versus this entire Dwarven army. And with some great axes getting thrown at them from a distance. Some of them hitting their own troops. The Dwarves don't care. They value Dwarven life very, very small. Small. Yes. I value you small. Anyway, they don't value their own lives. They just axe each other in the face if they might possibly hit a Manticore. This Exalted Hero is trying to solo the entire army. The Sorcerer of Death has rallied. But there's so much left. There's so much left. Balance of power, you're full of shit. This is very Dwarf favored unless there's a Hell Cannon I forgot about. Yeah. Yarp. I do think some more crowd clearing spells could have been better, as I said at the start, but Energized came into this, you know, not knowing what the enemy build was going to be, obviously, and the Spirit Leech is good against Gyrocopters. Gyrocopters aren't uncommon in this matchup at all. But Pugnabone bringing this Legion of Armor, just not enough to take it out. Not enough. Ungrim getting Spirit Leeched again, but with his natural Dwarven resistance to magic, I don't think he'll mind too much. Alright, where are we at? Who knows? Human Boy could be typing in 2 Google accounts at once. I could, man. Real Human Being is often mistaken for me. Maybe it is just me and I'm jealously guarding my secrets, so Real Human Being can be my toxic account and I can just flame people. But seriously, Real Human Being, don't do toxic. Don't do that. I don't want to kick you from this chat. You seem like a cool dude. Don't do it. Army losses is coming in to save us from the cycle charging. And the Dwarves will withstand the tides of chaos. Oh, good stretch. Oh, feel that stretch. Oh. Okay. So we can either follow Pugnabone to go fight Ice Power, or we can watch Enticity. Chat, it doesn't look like Enticity has his opponent yet, but it's got to be coming soon. What do you want? You want to watch Enticity or Ice Power? What do we got? What do we got? Rangers all did really good value. The great weapons especially. Slayers got good value. The Dwarven frontline did well. The Dwarven build overall just had a lot of spread, very good value. The Manticore play from Energized was excellent. The rest of his build just lacked pure killing power. A little unfortunate for him. Little unfortunate for him. Okay. There's a bit of a stream delay, so I will check out what I missed in the back time. Ice Power saying ODM secrets must be protected at all time because Enticity doesn't want to show us his builds. Well, Tiago said that last part. Human Boy, please cast Ice Power's game so I can steal his builds. That's from Enticity. Felcon plus Terrible Michael. Felcon plus Terrible Micro equals an Ice Power build. Yeah, the finals with Taco is pretty sweet. Ice Power, I agree. Mass Mist of the Grace Gods, don't get discouraged. Chat doesn't need you anymore, Jeremy. Aw, I want to be needed. Both. Tiago voting for both split screen casting. Well, Enticity still doesn't have an opponent, so I'd rather cast a game than not, whatever. Follow the Pug, see more chats. All right, we have a vote finally in the chat. We will follow Pug. Oh, shit. I joined as a player. Whoopsies. All right. We'll go find Ice Power, but this time I will spectate and not join the lobby as a player. This time I'm spectating. Another damn XMT clan war. Alright, we'll get a blocker up. I think the game auto hovered me over Ice's build, so let's do that. We'll just do that. I gotta change this screen thing. Ice, baby versus... Oh, what to do? Dogs with breathing trouble. Actually, no. Dogs with no treat. Because they don't have a bone. Teehee. Alright, get that in the right spot. Dogs with no treat is a little long, so we'll just center it a bit. Boom. I can create a poll. He is a... All right, we're putting a poll out. This is the first time we've done this. I know Rubber Duck and Logic are doing it like every game. I don't know how poll works. Okay, all right, poll's out. It's out there, all right. Vote for stuff, I guess. I'm just learning. If I take you over to the bracket, we'll deal with the picks and bans in a bit. It looks like Ice Power's thinking, so you aren't missing much. Bracket, we have Pugnabone, who we saw advance against Energized. Well played by both players. 3-game series. Good stuff. Slate X is still fighting Chosen One. Locked in a deathly combat forever. Oh, and either one of them will face Enticity. Might catch the end of that after the Pugnabone Ice Power series, but we'll see. And then whoever wins, it looks like we'll have a good final. Between all 5 of these players, I would not hate seeing any of them in the final. That'd be good. That'd be good, no matter who wins. And no matter who wins, what's the prize for this thing? Is there a prize, or is this just the honor? $10 CA Steam gift card for first place. That's some real shit. That is some real shit. I'd kill a man for that. Wait, did I say that on a recording device? Whoopsies. I shouldn't have done that. Chadticity, the only downside is not playing dwarves enough. Okay. Who's messaging me now? What's going on? Okay. Okay. Cyrus says he has to cyberbully me to stop me from bullying others. I'm too powerful to be kept alive. Pugnabone is back, and he originally picked Skaven, banning vampire counts and Warriors of Chaos. I think Ice Power should go Wood Elves. I definitely 100% think Wood Elves is the best matchup into Skaven. Deepwood Scouts are extremely effective. Mass Vanguard with Dryads and then a Cavalry Rush behind your opponent is very effective. Yeah, they just have so many effective tools. But it looks like Ice Power is going to go with Norska. Another good faction to Skaven, but I think they're the weakest of the counter picks. I think Beastmen's better. I think Beastmen and Wood Elves are both better. I think Norska's still a good pick. Not trying to flame. But it's the worst best pick. Let's be real. Ice Power won't subject him to Wood Elves. What a hero. What a noble soul. I think Ice Power forgot that there are 10 Steam dollars on the line. I won't type it. I was going to type it, flame him a little bit, but I will not interfere. I will be a passive viewer. I will not interfere in the results. I'm going to mind my business. And I called him a coward. All right. Pug's ready. Behind the screen blocker, Ice's build is very rarely changed. He did change one unit that I think you're all going to enjoy. But other than that, Ice should be ready pretty soon. His build's mostly here. Flying Taco in the chat saying, I don't mind Skaven versus Wood Elves, but I haven't played it in the new patch. One of the things I love about Skaven is that every Skaven player has a different opinion on what matchups are good or bad. Like, a lot of people hate the Tomb Kings matchup, and I personally really don't mind it as Skaven. I win it a little bit over 50% of the time. But then some people don't mind the Wood Elf matchup, and I personally hate it. So, teach their own. I think it's pretty bad. I'm going to end the poll now on whether or not Enticity is a nice person. And it looks like 27% of you said he is a nice person. 27% of you said he's not a nice person. And I have to wait for it to come back up. And 46% of you said he's a Chad. So Enticity, by the law of democracy on YouTube, you are officially a Chad. Proud of you, buddy. You got a plurality of votes, not a majority. Oh, damn, where's my army gone? Norskin problems? Wait, is he actually having a bug? Okay, looks like he's just memeing. And yes, the unit that he changed out that I thought you would all enjoy is indeed the Frost Worm. Hank Cyrus calling it in chat. For Ice Power Total War, we have a Frost Worm, Wolfric the Wanderer, Shaman Sorcerer Fire with Burning Head and Fireball, 3 Norskin Warhounds, the Miststalker Familiar Warrior ROR, 1 Skin Wolf. I don't know if we see 2. That's the same one moved over, so I do think there's only 1 Skin Wolf on this map. And we have a mixed front line of Berserkers and normal Marauders. Pretty standard build from Ice here. Well, except for the Frostworm. We have, for Pugnabone, we have Storm Vermin Sword and Shield mixed in with Plague Monk Censer Bearers on the front line. In the back, Clan Rat Spears, all defending some Night Runners with slings and Skaven Slaves with slings. No Poison Wind. We have Deathmaster Snikch, a Plague Priest with a Pestilent Birth and the regular summon, and an Assassin with Outrival Hide Talisman. I appreciate the memes. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. The same reason, and Jeremy's going to come into the chat, and he's going to say, Skaven are going to win because I predict him to lose, but I'm allowed to have my opinion. I think the Storm Vermin aren't going to work for the exact same reason I don't think the Council Guard were very good in this matchup, and that's that Seafang and Burning Head are gonna tear them apart. I think that's gonna happen. And Jeremy, you're probably right, and the Skaven are probably gonna win anyway, and I'm gonna look like an asshole. But I am ready to do that, because as a YouTube content creator, I'm essentially a clown that doesn't get paid. I am here for it. Make fun of me. Alright. Enticity saying the chat percentages are rounded down, so it adds up to 98% instead of 100%. Well, Enticity, the other 2% was clearly going to say you're a saint and an excellent individual, so just take that. Both sides meme, but dang, the Skaven army is something else. I agree, Tiago. And Flying Taco, I can't tell if you're being serious or not, but he memed against you in the finals of my tournament when there was actual money on the line, so of course Ice Power is going to meme here against the fellow XMT. It's what he do. Marauders are advancing a little too aggressively. The front line is about to hit while Ice Power's flank isn't quite set up yet. I think that is a little bit of a mistake, but Ice Power's going to quickly rectify it, charging in all of his units. It looks like the dogs aren't going to get a full surround before they hit the front line, but we will see. A Clan Rat summon to delay the engagement is largely okay. We're going to see a Seafang come in here, do great damage to the Plague Monk Sensor Bears, and ooh, I do not like that Burning Head follow-up. That is too much commitment on a unit that was already going to break. I wonder if it can soar into these Storm Vermin, which are now dodging, and that's worth it, but otherwise I think that was a big mistake from Ice Power, overcommitting resources onto one unit. Over here, the other Storm Vermin Sword and Shield has been absolutely bullied by both Wolfric, the Miststalkers, and Skin Wolves, and Berserkers will actually also trade quite effectively. Now, the Burning Head did also go through these Plague Monk Sensor Bears, and they're already down to half health. Over here, some Storm Vermin are trying to get involved against Chaos Marauders, but that is a desperate ploy to get a little bit of value in here. The Frostworm has dove down. I wonder if he already got a breath attack off on those Storm Vermin that died, but he definitely needs to get back in the air and switch position here. Wolfric's getting murdered by slings. His Mammoth only has 35 armor after it's been nerfed by some sort of armor centering, probably from Deathmaster Snitch, and he needs to pull out. If Wolfric doesn't die, I think this game is well within Skaven hands. Some Norscan Warhounds are getting into the backline, but their leadership is quite bad, so now they're being rear charged by these Clan Rat Spears. I don't think they'll get a terrible amount of damage done before they get routed off. They might rout this unit of slings, but they won't do that much damage to it. Plague Monk Sensor Bears are attacking some Norscan Warhounds. That is a mistake. Those Norscan Warhounds have to run, but Ice Power's screen is probably only encompassing this portion of the map. Probably doesn't even see that happening. Wolfric's charging in, terror routing off some of the spears that are nearby, and now the slings don't have anywhere to stand and fire. Their box is entirely compromised, and now some of them are standing on top of each other, just trying to find a position to throw. The Frostworm did get a breath attack down here on these Night Runners, it looks like, and another Burning Head coming in, scorching some Planet Dancer Spears. I would have loved to see it here on top of this double-stacked group of Slingers, but you can't have everything you want in life. Ice Power is still in the lead, and the Balance Power is starting to show it, and now if you can do... Frostworm, get out of the way! If he can go enough Deathmaster Snitch, he'll be okay. But the Frostworm completely cockblocks Wolfric the Wanderer, and he's desperate to get in there and fight Snitch while he's out of position with all these Skin Wolves as support. And the Frostworm's sitting over here like, I'm real sorry, Dad. I just wanted to do good, and now go away. Yeah, get out of here. You're worthless. I hate you. There was a Seafang over here that got rid of some Clan Rats, but otherwise it did okay. And Deathmaster Snitch is down to half health. This is very tough stuff for him. Some of Pugnabone's Plague Monk Sensor Bears are off in the middle of nowhere's land trying to chase down some Marauders, it looks like. And a full health unit of Storm Vermin Sword and Shield is sitting in the back, waiting for the party to come to them. Deathmaster Snitch, if that's still him in there, he is dead as hell. He is shattered now. The Assassin and Plague Priest are the last leadership components for the Skaven. This Plague Monk summon is about to go away, and then the Berserkers around here will murder this Plague Priest. And, I love the memes. I love the memes. I appreciate what he tried. Storm Vermin are not good here. They're not. Another breath attack from Ice Power going on top of these Skaven Slave Slings. That and a rear charge by the dogs will mean that they rout off. Balance Power is very firmly in the Norscan favor. And let this be a lesson to you, kids. Don't take Elite Infantry versus Norscan. Burning Head and Pendulum and Seafang can get nerfed as much as you want. They still do what they gotta do, and those Elite Infantry are gonna die. Plague Monk Sensor Bears are neat tech versus Skin Wolves. But I think if Pug had switched their position, if he had kept them on the back line and put spears on the front line, I think he would have been okay. Because they're extremely good against skin wolves, but they don't trade that effectively versus berserkers or even chaos marauders. They just take too much damage for how much they cost. And now we get into the calm morning coffee and podcast part of the episode where we watch the Frostworm and Wulfric run around and clean up the scraps of the Skaven army. Majestic, beautiful in their natural habitat. And the Skaven cling to life even though they don't know that they have been soundly defeated. Yes. Hey, army losses. Army losses kicks in. And that was an ambitious build from Pugnabone. Did not pan out. Frostworm didn't quite pay for itself, but it had plenty of health left, so it had more in the tank. And Marauders largely did okay. Berserkers did okay. They didn't really get on top of anything they needed. Sorcerer Fire only got 700 value. Wulfric got 2,200. Snitch got 800. Assassin didn't get much. Plague Priest didn't get much, but he summons and they don't count towards him. The Elite Infantry, one got 400 value, another got 400 and 500, but they didn't pay for themselves. The slings were nice. The slings were pretty good. I liked them. They did a lot of damage to Wulfric. They're pretty spread out, so they can avoid Sea Fangs pretty well. GG, well played. It's just tough. It's tough. I think double Feral Manticore also would have torn that build apart, because Slingers are horribly inaccurate, so you can't really focus fire down to Manticore super well. Clearly, both players were taking that game extremely seriously, and I need to take them as seriously and criticize everything everybody ever does. All right, Jay Phoenix sent me a calendar of when they're working, and they really want to be in one of the qualifiers for my big tournament, so I got to at least make one of them work. All right, I got to update the score. Ice Power, or Ice Baby as we call them in the thing, has 1 point to Reno. And Dogs with No Treat has none at the moment. Enticity got his opponent. It is Chosen One. Chosen One has emerged victorious over the mighty Slate X. That Skaven is something else too real. Nice mammoth body block, yeah. My favorite part of that was when the Frostworm blocked Wulfric from getting a charge on Deathmaster Snitch, and he did that meme. Oh, what's the meme? Hold on, we'll find it. Guy stabs another. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, I gotta pull that shit up. I feel like it was just this. It was this moment where that's the Frostworm and that's Wulfric, and he's just trying to get past him and get at Deathmaster Snitch, and he holds him up. He's like, no, bro. Nah. That was spot on what was going on there. Spice Power is taking Dark Elves, his famous best pick. And he's banning Bretonnia and what else? Is Bretonnia even a good matchup into Dark Elves? I guess I didn't know that. I didn't know it was bad. Hammond saying slings, what is this, Troy? You cyberbully everybody else, why not Jay? Cyrus, I'm not cyberbullying anybody. You're cyberbullying me. It's mean. And Flying Taco sending me a build to try to convince me that Storm Vermin are good. You know what? Taco? I'll pull this up on stream. We're chilling. Pugnabone's checking his build, so he hasn't even checked. Yeah, we gotta pull this up, because I gotta flame Taco here. I gotta roast this dude. So, this build right here that we're looking at, where you proposed to me Storm Vermin aren't good. Taco, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. I've tried this. I got rid of the halberds. Well, I've tried with halberds and I've tried with sword and shield. I thought I could hold. The problem with this is halberds still trade down against Chaos Spawn, which is the main reason you even want halberds. And this other army is silly. It's silly, Taco, because there's no throwing axes. Look at the Skaven army. What are they going to do against throwing axes, Taco? Throwing axes are extremely common here. Like 2 centaurs with throwing axes, they're all dead. They're all dead. Couple Traderkins, all dead. Flock of Dooms, dead. Everything's dead. Tuskor chariots charging through them. Some friggin' throwing axes. Yeah, if this Armesia, that guy, if it's you with a different name or whoever, yeah, if you throw a billion Ungors at them, sure. Yeah, they'll do great. Yeah, they'll do fine. But come on, man. Come on, you can't bring that shit in here. There's no throwing axes. There's no Chaos Spawn. There's no Morgar. There's just I'm upset. I'm upset, chat. I'm angry. No, I am joking, but I have tried builds like this. I did 4 gold chevron sword and shield stormvermin with a gray seer in the middle, and they just protect him in a little box. And then on the outside, I had gutter runners and night runners to counter skirmish the beastmen and some wolf rats. That had some success, but it just had a lot of weaknesses. The storm vermin just really didn't perform. Even with gold chevrons, they still actually break in a lot of combat situations. It's just not ideal, unfortunately. All right, rant over. Nice loop. Skaven halberds are necessary into Tomb Kings. Boo, not enough ammo. Lies. Maybe. Maybe. What's my Tomb Kings build? Alright, Pugnabone's picking Tomb Kings into ice powers. Dark Elves, I believe he's on the Cult of Pleasure sub-faction, which means he has to take Marathi. Haha, that's a new thing. Anyway. Well, there's your problem, you had gutter runners. Well, yeah. The Storm Vermin alone can't really carry, in my opinion, against a more optimal Beastman build. Gutter runners are okay. They can do well against vampire counts and Beastmen a bit, because if Centaurs with throwing axes get on top of them, gutter runners can actually usually do pretty well in the melee and trade up a little bit. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Tomb Kings build. I don't hate it. I usually take a couple Warp Lightning Cannons, a couple Jezzails, a Skaven Slave front line, because you don't really care against the Tomb Kings that much. Maybe a Poison Wind Globe or 2. Maybe. Some Rat Ogres, probably a Chieftain on a Bone Breaker, Lord Skrull, because the Tomb Kings have very, very little healing options. I like Morskatar's Hellion. He's a good duelist. Arc Gunrunner is one of the best 360 units. Yeah. I don't think... They're good in melee. Like, not super good in melee, but for a 360 unit, they're good in melee. Their range is just really short, Taco. But they can be good. They can be good. The problem with them versus Skirmish Cav, and I think it's a wash. I think they're as good as Skirmish Cav, just in very different ways. The problem with them is that they're an infantry skirmish unit, and while Skirmish Cav can stand behind... Let's take Norska. All right. You have Marauders versus Clan Rats with shields, and behind the Clan Rats with shields are Gutter Runners with poison supporting them, and on the other side are Horsemen. The Horsemen are going to help that fight more because the Gutter Runners can't see. So they get obstructed easily, and they can't throw over the back. They can't get a lot of value in that way. So Horsemen, the advantage Horsemen have is they're faster, and they have a better angle with which to see and throw. Gutter Runners are harder to hit because they have the dodge ability, and they are better in melee combat. So it depends on what you're using them for. But I don't think they're bad. Tiago's mentioning Night Runners. Yeah, Night Runners are very good because they cost like 250 less and they trade pretty effectively. I like to take 1 Gutter Runner and 1 Night Runner, or 1 Gutter Runner and 2 Night Runners. And that way, if dogs or something catch you, you can have the Gutter Runners go into melee and beat up the dogs and have the Night Runners keep running. but the Night Runners do trade up for their value, so they're pretty good. I don't think you should take 4 Gutter Runners ever. It's too much money. And Night Runners don't have a poison variant is another problem, so if you want poison at all in your build, you got to take at least a couple Gutter Runners for kiting. Oh, this is kind of funny. I just realized that ODM Chosen One and ODM Enticity on the other side, we have XMT Pugnabone and XMT Ice Power. So we have 2 clan wars against each other to fight to see who will be in the XMT ODM final. No matter what, we're getting an XMT ODM final. Time to get into game here. I'll remove the blocker and not the scorecard for once. And here we are. Ice Power is up 1-0 against Pugnabone. If he wins this game on his beloved Dark Elves, he will be into the finals. And if he loses, he still has game 3. Let's do this. Got some nice water, and for Pugnabone, he's going to move this army around a lot. I'll go cast Ices first. We have 2 Feral Manticores. I don't think he changed his Lord. Yep, so it's Malice Darkblade on the ground. He switched back to the regular Dark Elves so he could have that Lord, and a Sorceress to Fire with Burning Head and Fireball. We have 2 Reaper Claw Bolt Throwers. Oh, Reaper Bolt Throwers. I keep adding the Claw. 2 Cold One Dread Knights, 2 Dark Riders with shields up front. Then we have Bleak Swords and Dread Spears along the entire front line. So we get Malice Mean Blade. Let's go. For Pug, we have Skeleton Warriors and Tomb Guard as the front line. A lot of Tomb Guard, very elite infantry here. Burning Head is going to go Burr. 4 Skeleton Horse Archers in the back, 3 Nahakara Horsemen, it would appear. And we have Grand Hierophant Kotep on foot. So, wait, on his horse. Not on his Casket of Souls. Little ballsy there. He has Invocation of Desiccation. Incantation Desiccation, minus 24 melee attack and melee defense. And he has Neru's Incantation of Protection. Very nice spells there. 2 Tomb Princes, both, it looks like, with the Curse, neither of which with Tomb Strike. Builds, builds, builds. Builds, builds, builds. I want to predict this, but then I'm going to get flamed. I think Dark Elves are going to win. Alright, going with it. I think Dark Elves are going to win. I think Burning Head will just be too good versus all these Tomb Guard. I think it's just too much. It's too much. It's too good of a spell versus this faction. I think that's what's going to happen. Malice is a bit of a meme, but he can fight these Tomb Guards. He can fight, Tomb Princes. And he can fight Grand Hierophant Kotep. Though, actually, I wonder if his transformation gets put on cooldown by Kotep's spell thing. It would be really funny if that works that way. Pugnabone could wait until Malice gets low, and then as Ice tries to pop that ability and get his health bar back, he puts it on a 15-second cooldown and finishes him off. That would be so fucking funny. No Tomb King's Chariots, Dark Elves win, says Flying Taco. Flying Taco, you really like those chariots. Really, really do. Bolt Throwers are trying to get value onto these Skeleton Horse Archers. Probably want to put them on the Spread Fire mode if you're going to shoot at the Horse Archers. Just you'll get slightly more value that way. They have 20 whole armor, so it's not like you need the single target armor piercing damage. Ice is staying on single shot, though, and that is making it slightly easier for Pug to dodge these shots. Looks like Malice is going to get a little aggressive. Try to eat some of this fire with his 110 armor and his guaranteed pseudo regrowth in the back pocket. But the Tomb Kings are pretty happy taking these skirmish trades so far. They've taken very little damage, and they've done some decent poke. They are running a little low on ammo, however, so I guess both players are fine with how this is panning out. Cold One Dread Knights are advancing. They do have bronze shields and 120 armor. They're very expensive. They definitely don't want to take any of this skirmish cav poke. Looks like they're gonna try to get a free charge onto some Tomb Guard over here while they can. And Ice is a little aggressive here. I wonder if there's going to be any spells to punish. The Nehekara Horsemen running in. There's the Incantation of Desiccation that I thought might come in, lowering all of their stats. Upgraded even, lowering their melee attack to 0 on the Feral Manticores, and Ice immediately has to pull back, leaving his Bleak Swords to die. But otherwise getting out pretty okay. Only a little bit of damage on the Cold One Dread Knights, largely doing just fine. I would like to see a Burning Head right here. Hey, roughly what I wanted. Not on the group I wanted. I think this gives Pugnabone a little bit too much time to dodge, and dodge he does. I think it would have been a little better on that triple group. But he still takes out a full unit of Tomb Guard with that cast. So still pretty good. Malice Darkblade, double Manticores, all still affected by this incantation. Still nerfed down, but it finally wears off, and they start to trade back against the Nehekara Horsemen. How's the rest of this going? The front line is going in the favor of the Tomb Kings. They are pushing through with all their Tomb Guard, not getting away with it scot-free, but having a tough time. Ice is pulling up some of his reserve Dread Spears just to hold them off and protect the Bolt Throwers for a little bit longer, while his big ol' elite goon squad starts to fight the Tomb Princes. And a Manticore is rampaged, now starting to take a lot of damage. Malice Darkblade has to get in there and has to get his value. Ooh, and this could be a big catch for Pugnabone. He gets on top of the Sorceress of Fire. Now, Skirmish Cav aren't the best melee combatants, but hell, neither is a mage. Pug quickly abandons that, though, in favor of shutting down the Bolt Throwers. He's decided that some Tomb Guard coming in, he can go back onto that mage whenever he likes. In the important fight, one of the Feral Manticores is gone, and Malice is down to half health. He does pop the Blood Price, giving himself a little bit of damage, over time, but does get a big buff. Is that another incantation coming down here? So that could be quite critical for the Tomb Kings, and it is. With 2 units of Tomb Guard pushing up, those Cold One Dread Knights might actually be in trouble. Over here, this unit is very, very damaged, and Malice is surrounded, getting beat up. I imagine with both of those casts, Kotep's actually a little low on mana. I would have liked to see if he could have kept casting Invocations of Protection to slow down the ability for Malice to transform. But he did transform, and he's going to start kicking tons of ass. He does do his little Soul Stealer type ability on these Tomb Guard, doing excellent damage to them, but the rest of the Dark Elf build is largely falling apart. It is going to be on Malice Meme Blade to carry us through this one. Somehow Ice got the Sorceress of Fire out. That is going to be critical. If she can get any more Burning Heads off, that will be very, very nice indeed. And we see one up there doing great damage to one unit of Tomb Guard, the other not as much, but it is going to roast right through all these Skeleton Horsemen. We do a little bit more poke there, along with a Fireball going after Kotep. Does it hit? And it was an overcasted. It hits. It was not overcasted, or it would have done more. Now, Sarkhan Malice is doing great work against the Tomb Princes, along with his Feral Manticore buddy, and I wonder, did the other one die, or did it just move away? Because I only still see one Tomb Prince in this fight. And Malice is going to make sure that there are no Tomb Princes in that fight very quickly. Dark Riders with shields surrounding Kotep just to pin it in for the Manticore coming in, and Ice is scrapping back into this game very well. Balance power has now gone into his favor with all of these big gooning picks. Malice staying in combat with the Tomb Princes was a big turning point in this game. This excellent gooning attempt on top of Kotep is going to pay off for him quite well, and the Tomb Kings will lose their Lord and 2 heroes in the blink of an eye. That took a losing situation all the way to a winning one, mostly off the back of Malice and 2 Manticores. Oh, Dark Elves, you're just the Manticore faction. Another explosion from Malice takes out more Tomb Guard and Nehekara Horsemen, and this game is largely over. The Tomb Kings don't have a lot of staying power, and once these Ushapti disintegrate away, I think balance of power is going to tip away. There it is! And Ice Power win the series 2-0. GG, well played indeed. Malice carrying a little bit. Getting in there. As Zarkan or as Malice, he only got 565 value. I imagine he got more as the other form, but we don't get to see that. Dark Elf Frontline mostly got roasted and toasted. Manticores did alright. Sorcerer of Fire did okay. Dread Knights did fine. One of the Dark Riders did great. Kotep did not do amazing. Did his best as a buff bot. Tomb Guard were super susceptible to Burning Heads. They all just got roasted down. Nehekara Horsemen didn't get what they needed out of it. And the Skeleton Archers also had a hard time. Oofda. Pugnabone. Yeah, Pugnabone agreeing with my assessment. Looked good until suddenly it looked bad. Taco, yeah, there's a bug with Malice where it only counts... I think it only counts Malice Darkblade. I don't think it counts to Sarkand. So I think Original Malice... And Original Malice didn't get much done, if we're all being honest. He missed a lot of attacks onto Tomb Guard and... I mean, the Tomb Princes. God, I keep calling him Tomb Guard. He just struggled. He struggled pretty hard. Then when he changed form, all of a sudden he was, you know, a baller. A goddamn badass. Hey, we found Enticity and Chosen One. How's it hanging? What score? So we're on to the other semi-final. Enticity is up 1. Okay, up 1 versus Chosen One. Don't know what the matchup is at the moment, but we'll find out. Enticity. All the way over to Chosen One. Boom. 1-0. We missed the first game because they were playing while we were casting the other one. But we're damn sure going to catch the second and third one. Ice Power and Pug are talking in the chat right now. Ice Power says, Pugnabone, I disrespect you. You're a terrible player. Pugnabone says, Ice Power, I never loved you. We're getting a divorce. Whoa, guys, calm down. Jesus Christ. Don't keep your drama out there, not in the YouTube chat. Come on. Come on. They're not saying that. I'm kidding. Ice, I checked the value on Malice and I only saw 500. So did you get to see Sarkand or something? Pugnabone actually said, last time I played this matchup versus Ice, I mismicroed all my chariots, and then they died to COK. I believe that's Cold One Night. So you gambled on Marathi, no Burning Head, and went Tomb Guard line. Oh. I could see that gamble, because if, as you pointed out, if you have Marathi, you're going to get Soul Stealer, not Burning Head, so that could be pretty good. What is this fanfic, Rat Boy? Just having fun. It's pretty clear that Ice and Pug had a fun time with their series. And they're clanmates and probably pretty chill with each other. So I didn't think anybody would believe me. Anybody here in chat can see that Ice just said, hey, guys. So we'll see Enticity versus Chosen One Game 2. And they haven't done picks and bans this whole time I've been sitting here, so I'm guessing this is what we're getting. Enticity on Beastmen versus Chosen One on Bretonia. Ice Power apparently checked Malice's value before he left the game, and he says that he got 1,800 from Transformed Malice. So it sounds like he actually got him to pay for himself, which is quite nice. Because once he transformed, karate chopped the shit out of those Tomb Princes. They were gone in the blink of an eye. Alright, I almost just blurted out what Inticity's taking behind this blocker, but I will shut my mouth and wait, like the rest of us. Hammond saying coffee is better than tea. I don't really like coffee. I do like tea, but I prefer the blood of my enemies. Boo, go back to the Fire Nation. Throws rocks at Hammond. Hank Cyrus, you are a YouTube mod, sir. I hold you to higher standards. Quit cyberbullying. Quit it. Stop being a meanie. HW. HW has tournaments now. What the hell am I looking at? 9 a.m. Pacific Delta time or whatever. 'Tournament testing tournament. 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 'Tournament tes Okay. And then he has one on Sunday. Hey, the fresh recruit lead's back. Nice. If anybody out there is newer to the game, wants to get into tournaments, Logic_EU has a short beer tournament that's really good for new players, and HW has the fresh recruit league, also good for new players. Let's check those out. If you need the Discords, I have my Discord down below this video. Join that. DM me. I'll send you the links for their Discords or whatever. It's easy. Or if any of my mods want to post them in the YouTube chat, that's great. Okay. Enough with that. Enough with promoting the YouTube community in general. Time to focus on me. I need key. Alright. I need to stop looking at chat, but there's a bunch of Tretch v Tretch talk, and I don't like any of that. That's all nonsense. For Enticity, we have the Sons of Goros, very popular unit recently, and 2 other units of Centaurs with great weapons, 2 Centaurs with throwing axes, and then a bunch of Ungor spears with shields, Ungor herds with their just axes, no shields at all. Oh wait, yeah, they are shielded. With only 15 armor though. 1 Feral Manticore, 1 Tuskor Chariot, Torix the Brass Bull, and a Bray Shaman of Wilds. Also on a Tusk. The yellow line is right in my way. Yep, Tuskor Chariot. Very nice from him. Any flanking units? Not really. That's a very small Beastman build. Huh. Okay, he'll have to be careful with those units. Can't afford to lose any of them. And for Chosen One, we have a bunch of Battle Pilgrims, Men-at-Arms with pole arms, some peasants, the Beast Slayers of Bastogne, Foot Squires that do have anti-large damage. We have Gotrek. We have a Prophetess of Beasts with the Assault of Stone, Manticore Summon, and Flock of Doom. We have a Paladin with Guardian. In the back, we have 2 Peasant Bowmen. I'm surprised we don't see more, but we have 2. Both have pox, arrows, and in the back line, we have some Spear Men-at-Arms and more Men-at-Arms with pole arms. For the Cav Corps, we have 3 Knights of the Realm. Very nice, anti-large, no armor piercing, but the Beastmen don't usually have armor on their cavalry, so it does not matter. Bretonnians are relying on a relatively elite infantry push, while the Beastmen are relying on Beastmen things. Hank Cyrus posted those links in the chat we're talking about, so the HW Discord and the Logic Discord, if you want to join any tournaments that are specifically for newer players. Not all of their tournaments are, but the Shortbeard League and the Fresh Recruit League specifically are for newer players. There are other tournaments, they'll eat you alive. Nom 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 nom. Chosen One says he's ready, Enticity said he's ready, we're good. And they don't have to wait for me, it sounds like they know that. Stamina tournament. Jeremy proposes a stamina tournament. Best of until someone quits. Well, it depends on how you play, Jeremy, because if you played vampire counts and just sent 1 zombie in at a time, meanwhile running away with your whole army, I would quit very quickly. Anyway, on to the game. Anticity's repositioning his force a little bit, trying to decide how to attack this and what to do. The 2 Peasant Bowmen with pox arrows do outrange his Centaurs with throwing axes, and they'll trade very effectively there, so he has to be careful about how he takes that engagement. Ooh. What to do? If I was Intensity, what would I do here? It is tough. I think the Bretonnian front line will win against all these Ungors, because it's just utter crap. Utter chaff from Enticity. He has no Gore herds, he has no Bestigors, so he will lose the frontline fight. On the flanks, I think the Knights of the Realm will beat the Centaurs with great weapons. I think they will. I haven't seen that matchup happen. So Anticity's losing on multiple fronts. The only thing he's going to win at is the single entity fight. As long as Torix doesn't charge Gotrek alone, but if the Tuskor Chariots are running around, if the Feral Manticore picks wise engagements, if the Bray Shaman of Wilds gets in there. So I think Enticity... I don't think Anticity's disadvantaged, but I think a lot more of the agency is on him to win this game than it is on Chosen One. Chosen One has to not screw up to win. Enticity has to make good plays, is what I'm trying to say. And Beastmen are advancing. It looks like they're kind of engaging in a mixed fashion here. This flank is engaging while this one is not. And it seems like a fine play if he's going to lose the frontline fight, but does allow the Knights of the Realm to focus all their efforts on bailing out this far flank, we'll say left, So the left flank is currently getting bailed out by Knights of the Realm, but a Traitorkin Overcast is coming in. That's going to do really nice damage to Knights of the Realms. Whittle them down quite effectively, and a Manticore Summon is coming in for the Bretonnians to countercharge against Torix the Brass Bull, most likely, or maybe just fight the other Manticore. The Paladin and Gotrek are working together to push off Torix, and that does work. You can see the Traitorkin plus the Centaurs with great weapons, ROR, are just deleting one unit of Knights of the Realm. This unit's still very healthy, this unit's decently healthy, and the Peasant Bowmen are trying to fire, but the Tuscarora Chariots are all over them. And Enticity has overloaded that flank quite effectively. How is this awful, awful blob fight going? Torix is doing great work on the Gotrek, which is actually quite surprising, and the Paladin over here is doing his best to help out. The Gotrek's swinging back a little bit. If he pops Gotrek's Doom before he dies, maybe he can win it. Knights of the Realm are trying to get on top of these Tuscarora Chariots, but having a hard time really locking them down. And the infantry fight is going decently for Bretonnia. We can see a lot of everybody's units are extremely damaged, honestly. It's hard to make heads or tails of what's going on in there. Gotrek is getting slapped around by Torix the Brass Bull at the moment, and a rear charge from the Summon Manticore is trying to bail the situation out. Is that another Traitorkin coming in? Another Traitorkin upgraded coming in, and Torix is beating the absolute crap out of Gotrek. Gotrek's trying to turn and kill this Manticore at least before he dies, but that is going to be a concerning trend for the Bretonnians in this game. Tuscarora Chariots rolling dirty. The Knights of the Realm were not able to get on top of them, not able to lock them down very much at all, and Gotrek does die without his healing proc popped. Paladin is fighting desperately against this Manticore, might be able to rout it off, but with its other Manticore disintegrating, Bretonnia is very, very far behind on the balance of power now. And those Traitorkins by Anticities really turned this fight on its head. They deleted all of the Cav, and without the Cav, it looks like Bretonnia was not able to control the Tuscarora Chariots at all. Oh, Traitorkin, you buffed spell. With that, I think it's going to be a quick GG, and we'll probably see Enticity versus Ice Power in the finals. Probably. Unless Torix gets beaten up by this Paladin, but it seems unlikely as the Paladin is just about to break. Other than that, we have a bunch of Men-at-Arms, Polearms. I didn't realize that they're all triple chevron. Men-at-Arms, Polearms with triple gold chevrons. That is some savage peasant biggin technology. But it will not save them as they're about to be destroyed by Torix the Brass Bull. Maybe the Prophetess Beast can kill that Manticore on her way out, but it seems a little unlikely. She's trying to cast another Manticore summon. Can that turn this entire game around? I doubt it. I do doubt it. It is going to try. Torix and the Bray Shaman are just bullying this poor Prophetess. She is getting worked on. She summons her Manticore friend to come help her, but it's not enough. It's not fast enough. She will break. She will maybe most likely die. Other than that, it's us just waiting for peasants. Peasants to die. Die, peasants. Die before your gods. The dark gods, that is. If that Manticore wasn't here, we would have already had army losses. If that's another Traitorkin, that's going to trigger army losses. Sapping down 3 units of remaining infantry. They're getting low enough that the flags come in. GG, well played. Traitorkin alone carried that game. Torix also put some more hurt down on Gotrek than I thought he would have. But we can see 1700 value on the Bray Shaman of Wilds. Tuscarora Chariot also did extremely well. Great Weapons did fine. Throwing Axes did fine. Manticore did okay, but it was mostly on these two. Prophetess of Beasts and Paladin struggled. Gotrex did okay, but not quite paying for himself. Savage Peasant Biggins did alright, but with all their gold chevrons, they didn't quite pay for themselves. And yeah. It's a rough time when your Cav Corps gets deleted by one spell. GG. And Enticity will go into the finals with Ice Power. Is it best of 3 or best of 5? It's still a best of 3. Good. Getting tired. We've been streaming this for a while. Started over 2 hours ago. I have 4 notifications. Who wants this? What's going on here? William Kronos, 1.7k is kind of low for the Bray Shaman in this matchup. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the values recently have been low. Like, you could have a spell kill 7 units of Chosen in a row, and in the post-game screen it'll say, yeah, that mage got 1.5k. And you're like, what? It killed 20 million Chosen. Alright, we'll get Ice Power in here. I'm sure Anticity's probably invited him, but I will throw my hat in the ring as well. Final search. Spice. Invite to lobby. Hello, lads. Why is the screen black? Oh, I hit pause. Okay, good. I was like, are you guys just seeing black forever? I gotta get a blocker up. Ba-boom. And my little screen blocker here is proving to be accurate. Enticity, are you winning, son? And it would seem yes! Because we're in the finals, baby! Enticity versus Ice Power for $10. If Enticity wins it, he doesn't pay anybody anything. But if Ice Power wins it, oh boy, that $10 is going to be him. Most of the value is actually the Cav. Yeah. Yeah. I got to change scorecard. Now, Enticity hasn't moved, but Ice Power is not chosen one. So we will go with Marathi Bot. Marathi Bot versus the Dread Kraken Lord, if turn is to be believed. Dread Kraken Lord versus Ice Power. Marathi Bot. Boom. We can back this up a little bit. All right. Perfect names. Jeremy, you feel like you've seen a lot of Enticity and Ice Power in the last few weeks? Frenemies? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're two good players, and they're both active in a time where not a ton of players are active. I feel like there's been an uptick recently, like Taco's kind of coming back into the scene. Park Map, Pugnabone, Energized have all been playing. Chosen One's back a little bit. But like Felcon's still gone, Aerocrastic's still gone, Soothsayer's still gone. So, yeah. When the scene is slightly smaller due to a bad patch or due to some burnout, these are two of the best players left, so probably going to see them. Probably going to see them. The maps for the final thing are going to be Mortis Waste, Oakenhammer, and if we get there, Altdorf Outskirts is game 3. Oh boy. Who's in the chat right now? Hank Cyrus? Hank Cyrus, my mod, my friend. Even though you abuse me so, you entertain the chat. I'll be right back. Alright. Cyrus, it's on you. Okay. I'm back. Ice Power goes Chaos for his first pick. Bold. Banning Vampire Counts and Beastmen, and Enticity counter picks with Vampire Coast. Not too surprising from Enticity, very surprising from Ice Power, because as I mentioned before on my stream in one of his best of threes, if Ice Power doesn't start off with Dark Elves on the first pick of the first game, if he loses, he gets to the second game, Enticity can ban Dark Elves, and he might never get to play it in the series. Krakens are just scary squids, and the Lord is a guy. Tiago trying to get Cyrus to entertain the chat, but he did not. He did not juggle. He did not do a backflip. He did nothing for you. Nothing to entertain. Jeremy trying to get me to change Ice Power's name to Chili Volts. True, but I like Marathi Bot. Fine, fine. I'll change their names. The Haggard, Dread, Kraken Lord. The Haggard, Dread, Kraken Lord. That's the most Turin name I can gift someone. Enticity. Alright, memes aside, we'll get a little serious. Ice Power. Just in case somebody joining doesn't really know what the hell I'm doing. Put that there. A few spaces there. A little more. A little less. Perfect. Bad entertainer Ratman. Cyrus! Cyrus, I asked you to entertain them. Not yell at me about entertaining them. Come on. Oh, what's going on in the dumb rat den? Hammond proposing that we do a Hero Hammer tournament where there's ultra funds, but only lords and heroes and single entity monsters. I feel like that would be impossible to cast. It would just be this big old blob where all the flags are interrupted by each other and the units are dogpiled on top of each other, and we just calmly wait until it's over. Jeremy saying, I'm pretty sure Ice Power also means Marathi Simp. Yeah. Yeah. Oh god, I have 4 Snapchats. I don't want to look at these. Hank Cyrus, did you? You're on the toilet? Yeah, dude. Rewind the VOD. I asked you to entertain everybody, and you and I left at the same time. And Grace saw a car while out driving that had a Bob's Burgers ticket on it. So that's nice for her. We need that Count Civil War. Dude, a Vampire Count Civil War would be so miserable. Like I did design all the factions for it so people would play a little different. Like the Von Karsteins can take those Sylvanian handgunners and stuff. But it'd still just be a grind, dude. Okay. Anticity's coming in with the double Necrofex Colossus, the Lamprey's Revenge, Rotting Prometheans, 2 Gunnery Whites on top of their crabs, also with Scab, Scraith, and a Reload. And I see the blocker on the other screen. I'm pretty sure I took it down. Yeah, I took it down. Good. In the sky, we have Gunbats with handguns, along with 1 Fell Bat. We have 2 pistol summons. Well, not summons, but 2 pistol mobs and 1 regular deckhand mob. Entity saying good luck, have fun. For Ice Power, we have Chaos Warriors, Chaos Marauders, 2 Aspiring Champions deal with Sirens, and also just to be a little bit tanky because of their low model count, we have 4 Marauder Horsemen Skirmish Cav, 2 of which are Horsemen Masters. We have 2 Chaos Spawn, and for Lord, we have Sigvald the Magnificent, a Death Caster with Spirit Leech, and a Fire Caster with Fireball and Burning Head. I don't know about this. I think Ice Power should have had some great weapons or halberds in here to get through crabs. That being said, with all that skirmish cav, he should be able to fight the double Necrofex Colossus quite effectively. Alright, both players saying good luck, have fun, and we are off to the races. If Enticity can pick off the skirmish cav with his double Necrofex and all these handgun bats, I think he can kite Ice Power into oblivion, and Ice Power will be a big fan of the game that he is about to experience. But if the skirmish cav can win the fight against the handgun bats and they can run up and pressure the Necrofex Colossi, I think Inticity's going to have a bad time. You can see a good early volley onto those deck droppers, good stuff from the Marauder Horse Masters. Meanwhile, Enticity is focusing down Spice Power Total War's skirmish cav with gusto. First summon comes out from Noctilus, just zoning off some troops. It looks like the gunnery crabs are going to keep walking. They don't really seem to care too much, and that's going to break those units. Yep. Nice shot in from Noctilus. Other Necrofex is doing fine. And a Spirit Leech on these already wounded deck droppers with handguns. They're probably going to start crumbling soon, but a great indication of the heck counter from Enticity. You might want to pull them back a little bit so their leadership comes back. Otherwise, they're going to keep crumbling, and that could lead to a dead unit. One horseman is already gone. I think they'll rally before they hit the edge of the map, but we will see. And the Lamprey's Revenge have gotten on top of Sigvald. Sigvald will be hard to kill. Double Gunnery Wight, both mailing him at the same time, can do it quite well. And one unit of gun bats is disintegrated away. Little too aggressive with that one from Enticity. It does look like one of the Gunnery Wights is going to run off into the middle of Nowheresville and take care of that Marauder Horseman, while another one runs over here, supported by Noctilus's cannon shots, is going to route this one, and the edge of the map is pretty close, so if they route, they're probably not going to come back. Now, Enticity is kiting decently effectively, but at some point he's going to have to swoop or swish, because the corner is coming in hot, so he has to either pick a direction and go that way or that way. Can't keep going this way, you're going to run into a corner, and that is real bad for you. These Marauder Horsemen did rally for a little bit, but a cannon shot coming in on their back, plus the Gunnery Wight does manage to rout them. The summon in the back is dying, but there are still 4 skirmish cav largely online. This one is about to break, and it might run straight off the map. And I think that 4 of them can beat 2 handgun bats, but we'll see. Flying units are kind of hard to hit, like Pterodons, where a lot of the shots will miss, or if they don't miss, they're still kind of tanky, or they'll do that Phoenix thing where if they get hit, they'll warble around a bunch and make the other missiles that were going to hit them miss. Enticity firing more shots down the line on these Marauder Horsemen, trying to rout them off, and the handgun bats are pulling away. Now, what Ice Power has done so far is very nice, keeps his army nice and wide so he can limit Inticity's options. If he funnels in too hard, as we were mentioning with the little equal sign there, he leaves Enticity options to pull out on the sides. But with his nice wide surround here, it does look like Inticity's going to have a harder time getting out in the way and continue his kite. Noctilus is firing in on Chaos Marauders, it looks like. And he has done really, really good work. He lost 1 gun bat, but otherwise he's been doing an excellent job dealing with the skirmish cav without losing too much in return. Now, he has had to use a lot of healing on these gun bats, and this one is even almost heal capping. And it's taking a lot of damage to the skirmish cav, and its leadership's quite low. I think it's going to disintegrate right in front of our eyes here, just as I was saying nice things about it. Caster Curse. But the Gunnery Wights and Noctilus are alive, and Enticity is a little bit ahead on the balance of power. I agree with that situation of the map. Most of what he cares about in this army is doing just fine. We are down to 4 Marauder Horsemen. All of them are very, very injured and could break at any moment. Only 1 gun bat, though, and Ice Power has effectively scrapped against that threat. I do think, though, we're getting in that situation I mentioned at the start of the game, where with all the skirmish cabs so badly damaged, nothing else on Ice Power's build can catch the Necrofex Colossus. They're a little speedy. You know, they're 45 speed. Sigvald can catch them, but that's about it. So if they finish off these skirmish cav, then they can just kite Ice Power for the rest of the game. With 2 Gunnery Wights, you have 6 restocks of ammo. That should be plenty. We can see already the gun bats are dealing with these Marauder Horsemen. 1 broke, the other 2 are barely rallying, but I think that one will break. And if that one breaks, it'll leadership debuff this one. That'll also make this one break. And triple break. Oh, he rallied. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Hang in there. Now, Sigvald got on top of Noctilus. That is going to be a problem for Enticity, and he doesn't immediately need to pull the Lamprey's Revenge back and push him off. Some zombie pirate summons are also here to do that job. Enticity just needs to book it out of here for a little bit. The Chaos Sorcerer of Death is quite wounded, but he will rally very soon here. That other Marauder Horseman trying to come back in, but is immediately going to rout and might take his friend with him. We will see. Wraithstorm's coming in on top of the Chaos Spawn, it looks like. Not a bad target. Not bad at all. You really don't want to waste your shots on them. Their low model count makes it so, like, a cannonball might hit one, whereas an Enticity spends his time shooting horsemen or infantry units, he can hit multiple entities. He's running low on ammo, though. I wonder if he's been using restocks already and I just haven't noticed, but if he hasn't been, he should start on it, because it is a low cooldown. It's still a cooldown. And these Necrophag's Colossuses definitely need the next restock. Maybe he's been giving it to the Gunbats, but both the Colossuses need a little bit of help. That one has 2 ammunition, Noctilus has 4. Ice Power's now pulling ahead on the balance of power. So, ooh, the Lamprey's Revenge getting really hard gooned out. Aspiring Champions and Chaos Spawn putting down the hurt on them boys. And they're about to disintegrate, I feel. Still no ammo coming in from the Necrophag's Colossuses. They desperately need it, as one is now a very bad melee giant. I imagine Enticity won't let him go hungry for too long. But a restock was used on the handgun bats. Maybe even 2, considering how much ammo they have. That's an interesting choice. I wonder why he did that over giving it to his Colossus. Neckbet apparently heard the call. Welcome, another YouTube mod. How you doing, buddy? Hank Cyrus needed your help for something. I don't know what. Anticity's obeying the attacking rule by attacking with his handguns while everything else is kiting, and he's also attacking with his gunnery whites. So no rule break problems there. Really needs ammo. He needs ammo on these Necrophag's Colossuses, though. Currently the handgun bats, it looks like they're going to just kill the Sorcerer of Death, and then probably switch over to the Sorcerer of Fire, and probably switch over to Aspiring Champions? There's a lot of infantry left, though, you guys. Neckbet, your Necrophag's boys appear to be losing. Correct, but there are 2 of them. They're just out of ammo, and they need the extra powder. Another Wraith Storm coming down on top of these Chaos Spawn. Curious how much damage it'll do. About a 700. Not bad. Not bad at all. Handgun bats are still firing at this Death Sorcerer. He's dead. And now they're going to fire at the Fire one? Or is it just he not worried about that? I guess... Ooh, yeah, Fireballs, actually. Fireballs are still really good. I would shoot that Fire Sorcerer. 100%. Though, Ice Power, you have to stop. If anybody saw our stream yesterday, he really wanted to cast a whole bunch of Vindictive Glares on a Bloodrack Medusa Shrine thing for the Dark Elves. It was doing, like, no damage. He just kept doing it. It was doing, like, no damage. And now he's doing the same thing with Fireballs on Count Noctilus, as it does almost no damage to him on that big thing. Just cast it on correct targets. Come on, Ice. You know better. Sigvald cometh, says Kelgar. Yeah. Tiago, why is everyone a mod but I'm not? I'm literally the best user on the chat. Because we're cool. Yeah, Neckbet and Cyrus have just been around forever on my Discord channel and on YouTube. So, give it time. Give it time. Deck drops with handguns. Got hit with a fireball. That is a good hit. And it was actually going for Noctilus. That's kind of a funny little interaction. The game definitely made that fireball go, like, up into them and then down. And I feel like it sometimes does that because it wants cool things to happen, but it does feel a little disingenuous. And more ammo from Enticity coming in for the deck droppers with handguns. Still not giving any to his Necrophag's Colossuses. I don't support that. I don't support that. I think those Necrophag's need it, because they're way better at clearing out these massive amounts of chaff than the handguns. They're way better at it. Do his Gunner Right still have Scab's Crave? Maybe that's why he's not worried about it. With double Scab's Crave, maybe he just doesn't give a single shit about all these infantry. He's just trying to gunbat people down. Skaven Champ is also not a mod, don't worry. Trick Shot? Yeah. Hey, Chosen One, wait, you're the Skaven Champ? Then why not me? I want to be Skaven Champ. I played the Skavens. I mean, you're a better player than me, but I deserve love. Alright, things are getting a little silly because we've just been watching handguns shoot Ice Power's army for quite a while, but y'all know what's going on. You're watching the same screen I am. Anticity's obeying the attacking rule by shooting at something. Are these guys obstructed or what? There we go. They haven't fired in a while. Looks like he's picking off the aspiring champions from behind, and otherwise he's double Necrofex kiting. Still refuses to give ammo to those Necrofexes, and I've seen at least 2 double charges go onto those gun bats. Those gun bats have gotten 4 extra powders. At most, there are 2 extra powders left, but I doubt it. That fireball does put Noctilus over the cap, in which case his Necrofex Colossus automatically summons a little zombie pirate deckhand mob. That's going to run straight forward and get onto this chaos spawn. Chosen One! Oh, Chosen One. Chosen One, you should play in more of my tournaments, dude. They're pretty fun. I know you're more of a competitive player, I guess, but we have a good time. We'd love to have you. Playing Skaven isn't about being good, it's about bringing Queek. Yeah, maybe. And more extra powders used on these handguns. Enticity does not want me to be happy. He's just pissing me off. Hadries is a better Skaven player than you, Ratman. I don't disagree. We're just spitting facts here. Aw, Cyrus said sorry for bullying me. Thanks, Cyrus. That's nice of you. Okay. Oh no, I closed YouTube. Well, shucks. Now I can't see the wonderful comments of chat unless I go fix that. Whatever. Not worth it for now. What's Enticity doing? He's shooting the Chaos Sorcerer fire that we mentioned. Yay! Yay! Interactive gameplay! Ice Power's loving his life right now! Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, good. Closing YouTube on my thing didn't seem to stop the stream. Good. Good. I was actually super worried I had just closed down the stream. This game is cancer, not gonna lie, says Kaino. I agree. This is why quick battle limits are not ideal. Also, this is why double Necrofex is banned at Necbet. Necbet, if you're out there, this is why double Necrofex is not a thing. Average Skaven player enjoyers are strong rats. Good. Last one's at 2 a.m. my time. I wait for the 2 EU ones, which are still too good for us US. Others here. Kelligar Iron Fist? No, this is best of 3 and both are at 0. This is the first game, if you believe it. Considering nothing happening. Jay, if you actually mean that, thank you. If that is sarcasm at my expense, I appreciate the humor, but you hurt me. And as for Chosen One, yeah, there is a European one coming soon. I'm just trying to work out the time for it. It might be next week Friday, or it might be the week after that Tuesday. I'm trying to work. Necbet, this would also work with 1 Necrofex Colossus. True, but the reason that it's different is that Enticity would have less units that can outrun Chaos, because Vampire Coast are notoriously slow. And while it's weird to say out loud, Necrofex are one of the faster units on their roster. They're only outrun by flying units, Scurvy Dogs, and Mourngulls. So Enticity would probably have more infantry that Chaos could actually catch and kill. Necros aren't doing anything? Yeah, they're just existing. They used all their ammo. They already got the value they wanted. All of Enticity's restocks going onto the handguns. So let's see what value we've accrued. 1,200 on Noctilus, though he's been a caster. 800 on the other one. So, yeah, they've just been an annoying piece. But what they did do very effectively that's not going to show in their value is they took out a lot of the skirmish cav. And taking out the skirmish cav enabled the handguns to do 2,500 value. Whereas we saw when the handguns were trading with the skirmish cav in the early game, Enticity lost 2 whole handgun pads because of how annoying and shitty they were. It's not sarcasm. Thanks. I don't know how you're managing to comment 10 minutes of 1 gun pad shooting infantry. I'm doing my best. Alright, what? He's out of restocks. Enticity's out. I'm calling it right now, Enticity's out of restocks. This is the ammo he gets. Can he even cut down all these infantry? How many scab sprays does he have left? And are any of these Chaos Warriors? We have 2 Chaos Warriors, 1 is half health. The rest are all Chaos Marauders and some Aspiring Champs. So Scab Scrates are going to wreck the rest of this army. And army losses is the only thing that can take out Sigvald. Oh, he still has the 2 Gunnery Whites, actually. So if Sigvald runs out of support, the 2 Gunnery Whites will beat him. This matchup is the reason I don't want Siggy nerfed. Both used all their ammo and didn't pay for themselves. Yeah, neck bet. Just gets bullied by Kite, even if Ice is going to win this, most likely. Yeah, it's not over, but I don't think these handgun bats can carry hard enough, and Enticity really needs to shoot more. He is the host, he's the host of this tournament. I'm just the speaky voice. But I am going to say Coast must fire with handguns or engage at all times. Okay. Don't really want to piss anybody off. Both these players definitely know the rules, but I do have to just throw that in there. So it looks like Anticity's going to take the fight. I'm guessing he'll cast 2 Scab Scrates and then pull out. Because I guess he wants to put... I would guess he wants to put them on cooldown. And then take the last engagement when he has his 3rd cast. Unless he doesn't have, 2 more casts left. But this is a weird engagement. Maybe he's just taking it because he knows how miserable everybody is watching this. But it does seem a little premature. There's 1 Scab Scrap. There's the second one. Second one comes down. And now, if Enticity has more in the pocket, with more Scab Scraps, he's going to pull out this way. He's just going to leave, let the handguns fire while his Scab Scraps are on cooldown. But Noctilus is crumbling. While he's crumbling, he can't cast Invocation to Heck, and he rallies. I thought for a second... Did anybody else see that? It looked for a second like he was disintegrating, but then it just stopped. Either way, he's out of ammo now, too. The Gunnery Whites are actually taking a lot of damage in this engagement, and Enticity has to pull out. I don't want him to pull out because I want this game to end today, but I think he should if he wants to win. Oh, the end result of that was just a bunch of dead Chaos Marauders. Sigvald's still very healthy. I don't think anybody can kill Sigvald at this point. One of the Gunnery Whites is too low, and Sigvald's right on his ass. And he's getting constant charge animations, which is increasing his speed enough that he can catch up to it. And now Enticity has to put in the other Gunnery White to push Sigvald away, which does work, but now there's Chaos Marauders around it. He's taking a good amount of damage. Those handgun bats are running out. I know he's kiting for his last Scab Scrape, but I still don't think even that's going to be enough to change the tide of this game. He's having the handgun bats focus the Chaos Warriors, because he knows the Marauders will all die to the Scab Scrape and or Terror routes. And he is piling in now to get on top of Sigvald. I don't think his Scab Scrape's going to be back up yet, but I think he just wants to take this opportunity while a lot of Ice's units are out of position. Try to goon out Sigvald, but Ice very deftly pulls him back. Re-engages when only 1 Gunnery White can hit him at a time, and surrounds Anticity's force, and I think this is going to be the end. Hammond, you know what, you're right. You're right. But this is not what I meant. Alright. Necrofest Colossuses are both trying to fight Sigvald right now, but their attack animations and melee are terrible, as are their stats. The Scab Scrates are coming back in to try to push off a lot of these units. And, Chaos Warriors are not ITP. There are 2 giant Necrofest Colossuses here, which are very spooky. And that is a close to a mass rout. There's no way Enticity wins this, right? An ambitious Scab Scrape outside of the pocket. I would have liked... If that was his last Scab Scrape, he should save it for when these guys get engaged. If he has 2 more that I didn't know about, if he never used them until we started watching at the end here, then that was the right play. But if now he is out of Scab Scrapes, that was a mistake. Double Necrofex trying to fight Sigvald. They are terrible at it. And this Gunnery White being distracted by Chaos Warriors is absolutely cannot be happening for Enticity. He needs to be focusing all of his attacks on Sigvald. Otherwise, that Gunnery White is going to die. Ice pulls Sigvald's away. He's just going to try to surround with all these infantry units while he can and force crumbling. And Anticity's pulling away. No! No, please stay and fight and die. Let us out of this proverbial hell. God damn it. Sigvald's healing up to his healing cap. At least it's in sight now. Chaos Marauders are routing. Chaos Warriors are both under half health. If these handgun bats shoot them a little bit, they'll get that debuff, and they'll probably run away. This Gunnery White is going to crumble into nothingness. I still don't think Anticity's got this, but if he does, I'm going to give up all hope on anything. And now the rear charges are coming in. So we might get a mass rout. Maybe. Double Necrofex and the Gunnery White are all trying to fight Sigvald. Meanwhile, the last Gunnery White is crumbling. How have you not disintegrated yet? Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to root against the person who hosted this tournament, but I am. Get out of here. Disintegrate. Go away. Let us out. Alright, one Gunnery White is dead. Noctilus and Necrofax are just firing at the sand, desperately trying to hit Sigvald, and they are not doing it. Not at all. They have missed almost every shot. You guys are terrible. Please, please give up. Army losses? Are you going to bail us out of this? Sigvald gets another hit onto the Gunnery White, this one causing it to crumble. I don't imagine it'll rally. Noctilus is almost crumbling, Necrofax is almost crumbling, and the deck dropper handguns are coming in. And there's another Scab Scrape! No! It was a little early. He definitely should have waited for these other Chaos Marauders to get engaged. Maybe he was worried army losses would trigger too quickly. His units are rallying somehow, but Sigvald's definitely going to carry this. Just forfeit! Let us out! Let us out of here! It's over! 21 minutes of kiting! It's over! Oh, we did it! We did it, chat! Oh god, I can't do that again. Gunner Whites paid for themselves. Necrofax did fine, Noctilus did fine. One handgun back got 3,000 value, the others didn't. Lampreys did fine. Sigvald did great. Casters did great. I don't want to read the numbers. The numbers, Mason, what do they mean? It was all terrible. It was the most terrible thing I've ever seen. GG, well played. Wow. GG, well played. Alright, guys. Let's keep it together. Keep it PG. Keep it above the belt. Don't throw blows. I wouldn't blame you if you did, but don't do it. Neckfet. Alright, Neckfet. I'm calling you out. I love you, dude. You're great. But you say the one time since the rule change that the double Necrofax were brought, they lost. They lost, but it was terrible. It was terrible to watch. That was the worst game I've seen since my cat ran over my keyboard and the other person fell asleep while they were in the game. That was terrible. That was an awful experience for everybody involved. Please, no double Necrofax. Oh, even if it doesn't win, it hurts. It hurts your soul. And Enticity, like, I'm not trying to flame him. Enticity played that well. He played it technically correct. It's just not a fun type of game to watch, which is why a lot of the community didn't want double Necrofax to be legal at all. You are weak. That was a great game. You know what? If it makes me weak to not enjoy whatever just happened there, I will up that. I'm apparently weak, and I'm okay with it. Never again. Never show me that again. Ice Power's gonna go get some water after that. 20 plus minutes of walking. Please, no. Please don't do this to us. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Alright, chat, what's been going on? Chosen One, what has happened in this game? Benzodiazepam saying ugh too short. Uh-huh. 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 It could have gone another 30. Jeremy, you could have watched another 10 minutes. There were 40 left in the game, Jeremy. Why stop at 10? Why stop at 30 minutes into this game? Let's do the full hour. Nobody's got anything to do today. That was funny. And what's kind of crazy, I hate to announce this on a stream that people are watching and we'll go out and play this game, but you know, Anticity's build was legal on banner rules, not just quick battle rules. With the new banner rules, double Necrofax is legal. So go out there and have fun, kids. Ruin all of your quick battle games. Ruin all your best of threes with anybody. Do that 3 or 4 times in a row, and I guarantee no one will want to play with you ever again. I'm so short that I tickle grass. That's interesting. Why am I short? Wait, where's that coming from? I'm not short. I'm 5'11 and 3/4, not quite 6 foot. Anticity's going Lizardmen and banning Tomb Kings and Skaven. Alright. You can't do it in quick battle, says Jay, because quick battle is only 20 minutes. That's true. If my opponent always forfeits, I always win. You're not wrong, Jeremy. You're not wrong. Hank Cyrus saying rats are small, but I'm not small. I'm a big kid now. The commercials told me. Okay. Ice Power's back. Oh, I need to change the score. I'll give Enticity half of a point. 0.5. Boom. Sometime in the near future on my channel, we're going to get an RTK internal civil war. I don't know exactly what day it is yet, but as soon as they shoot me a message, I will let the lovely people know. That should be fun. Should be fun. Clan wars are always interesting. I wonder what style they're going to do, whether they'll do the normal clan war stuff where it's like, if there's 5 players on each side, you go down the list. If one team wins with 3 and the other team wins with 2, the score is 3-2 and it's over. Or if they'll do elimination style where it's like, each team fights until there are no players left. So, you know, if Jay Phoenix is on one team and everybody else on their team loses, Jay would fight the other 4 people back to back to back until either Jay lost or beat them all. So. And Neckbet pointing out, jokes aside, Enticity did the same thing with 1 Necrofex before? Yeah, it's true. It's true. But as I mentioned at the start of the game, right, double Necrofex were pounding down Ice Power's cavalry. The missile cavalry, the only thing Ice had that could fight the gun bats, the Necrofexes took care of. And after that, Enticity didn't need them anymore. He was just kiting with them for the balance of power's sake or whatever, but that was all they were for. And I disagree. I disagree with parts of how he played that, where he kept giving restocks to the handguns. And that was fine. I'd say 4 out of 6 restocks, sure, go to the handguns, but I think the last 2 actually was a mistake. I think he should have gave the last 2 restocks to the Necrofexes to try to clear out some of that chaff, because the handgun bats weren't going to do any more damage to Sigvald at that point, and I think the Necrofexes give better AoE damage. I think. But anyway. We'll see what Anticity's going to do this game. Loading builds lets you break unit caps. Enticity cheating? Oh boy. Oh boy. Load in 10 dragons. I think that's still illegal somewhere in the rules here. Ice Pavel Total War is playing Stellaris. I think that's Bilbo Bagosh for my friends list. I don't know, we'll see. Hold on a second. Hello?
Hey, human boy. Wait, aren't you streaming?
Hello?
I'm gonna say no. Hey, hey Ice, what's your build? For no reason. You know, I'm definitely not streaming right now.
Well, it's 4 Medusas, 6 Bloodwrack Shrines, and Marathi Double Manticore.
That sounds legal. Yeah. All right. All right, cool. I'm gonna go back to not streaming. All right, guys. I think I know what Ice is gonna bring. I think I know. I got the inside strats. Oh, stretch. I don't know what it is, man. I could sit in this chair and play video games for 20 hours a day and never need to stretch. But as soon as I'm casting, all of a sudden, I got to stretch at least 3 or 4 times an hour. Jeremy, you believe ice power? It's ballsy. It's ballsy. Ice power is a dark elf main because of lies and treachery. And I am a Skaven main because I am honorable. And pious. Okie dokie. I want to talk about Anticity's build, but it's behind the screen blocker. And I can't spoil that. This is... Oh, wait, shit. Chat, no one corrected me that Ice Power won the first game, not Enticity, and I gave Enticity the point. Come on, guys. Look alive. Look alive out there. It's not my fault. It's your fault for not catching me. Hank Cyrus is going to bed. Good night, dude. See you on the other side. And we are into the game. So this is game 2 between Ice Power and Enticity. Ice Power is up 1-0. And he has taken his beloved, his treasured, his fabled Dark Elves. We have 3 Dark Shards, none of them with shields. 1 Reaper Bolt Thrower to force the enemy forward. It looks like 2 Cold One Dread Knights, 2 Dark Riders, neither of which with shields. We have Marathi in the sky with Soul Stealer, Dread Spears, and Bleak Swords in the front line. The very standard Dark Elf front line, but no Double Manticore this time from Ice Power. And on the other side from Enticity, we have 2 Cold One Riders, 4 Cold One Riders. A lot of them. Some players, including myself, don't think Cold One Riders are very good, so we will see if Enticity can prove us wrong. I see 1 Chameleon Stalker, 1 Chameleon Skink. I wonder why just 1 Chameleon Stalker. Interesting. 4 Skink Cohorts, 1 Skink Cohort with the Javelin, 2 Bastiladons with Solar Engines, 1 Skink Oracle, and Oxyotl. Huh. Okay, yeah. I had to think for a second if that was legal. For some reason it seemed odd, but it's fine. And this is another kind of kite build. Though now Ice has a lot more stuff to deal with it. Oh, it's 2 Reaper Bolt Throwers. I don't know where that other one was hiding, but with the 2 artillery pieces, he can out-trade, honestly, the Solar Engines, so either Oxyotl or the Skink Oracle will have to get involved to win that fight. Left to their own devices, the Solar Engines will lose that artillery duel. 3 Dark Shards can also pressure things that are running away quite effectively, and I do not think we'll see a repeat of last game. And I favor the Dark Elves in this one. I think Anticity's memeing a little too close to the sun with this build. We will see, but the Dark Shards are going to get very nice value, so are the Reaper Bolt Throwers, and Ice has decent cavalry of his own, so it's not like the 4 Cold One Riders can just run him over. But we will see. It looks like the first bolts are going to go towards that Skink Oracle and miss him by just a bit. He's going to cast a Fireball. I wonder if that was overcast or not, and can Ice dodge it? It's usually very hard to dodge. Oh no, it's going for a Bolt Thrower. Okay. It misses slightly. Very unfortunate for Enticity. Very unfortunate start there for Enticity. Ice will keep all of his Bolt Throwers alive, and I think he's going to target them onto those Solar Engines, probably. And wow, Oxyotl taking a ton of damage to the Dark Shards. Usually foot characters have a hard time getting hit by archers, but he did take a lot of damage there. And as we mentioned, the artillery is focusing on the Bastildons with solar engines, trying to make sure that ice has to come to him. And if that's a Soul Stealer, that's aggressive. And it is going to be a Soul Stealer. Very, very ambitious from Ice Power. I wonder if that was worth the Winds of Magic. It is doing some damage, but it seems a bit premature. Bolt throwers are trading very well into Solar Bastildons, and Ice is just reorganizing his lines now that he is well within range. I think he sees this left flank coming, because the right flank is largely hanging back, but Enticity is moving up aggressively on the left, so I think Ice is going to reposition some of his elite cav to go answer that. He already has one Cold One Dread Knight over here. It looks like he's moving both light cavalry over to help with it, and he's leaving one elite on the other side. Enticity is getting good value onto Ice's front line, but Ice doesn't give a shit about his front line, and he's getting good value onto Anticity's important units. You can see that Stegodon, Bastildon is already down to half health. Marathi's flying around on this end. I think a Soul Stealer here could be better than the first one that was cast. The first one was a little ambitious. Tiago saying stop pronouncing Oxyodal so fancy. You got it, bud. Oxycontin over here is trying to kite, shooting his little pew-pew rays. Doing real good. He's Otis now. You know what? Just for you, Tiago, he's Otis. Otis is going to do great. That solar engine is in real trouble. With these double bolt throwers just ripping shots at him, he's having a terrible time. One Dark Shard unit is mostly compromised, and a Skink Oracle might just sprint into melee? I don't hate that decision. This unit's so low, it'll probably tear her out right away. Yeah, there it goes. Enticity just getting a bit of free damage there. He will have to pull back before Ice can rally these two Dark Shards to counter fire on him. Ooh, that Skink Oracle might take a lot of damage here. He's taking a good amount, and Marathi is coming in to rear charge him. And Earthblood gets cast all the way over there from the Skink Oracle. Okay, that has more range on it than I would have thought. In the backfield, Ice finally gets the cav engagement he wants. Cold One Dread Knights and Dark Riders getting on top of one unit of Cold One Riders. But that does leave this flank open without any mobility to defend it. So if Enticity has picture-perfect micro, he can go whoop, and get in here. Dark Shards are still firing at Skink Oracle, doing some good damage on a very expensive unit, and one solar engine has shattered, so it is off the field. Dark Shards are turning to support the little whoop blank we talked about, and Anticity's micro slips for just a second, and he rams them straight into the chaff that were waiting to block him. The backfield Ice has secured very well, the left flank still going pretty okay. Right flank is also going well for the Dark Elves, and they are winning across the board. The balanced power shows they are slightly ahead. So Enticity is in real trouble. He's going to have to somehow clutch this game back. He does have one unit of Cold One Riders trying to rear charge some Bleak Swords to let his Chameleon Skinks get in close, but I'm wondering what the Chameleon Skinks will do once they get in close. They're not exactly hard carry units here. The Bolt Throwers still have 3 out of 3 models, and so do the other ones, so their low health doesn't matter until they actually start losing models. That Solar Engine is wounded and a little low on health. And Marathi's still full health. I haven't seen a second Soul Stealer out of her, so she should largely be fine. On the backfield, all the Lizard minions that were here were completely shattered off the map. And we can see Skink cohorts are trying to get in the Dark Shards and doing a good job there, but the Reaper Claw Bolt Throwers are still firing, and one full health unit of Dark Shards is okay. That being said, it is about to collide with a Skink cohort of Javelins, and that will shut it down decently effectively. But Ice's mobility advantage is now here. Cold One Dread Knights are much healthier and stronger than the Cold One Riders, so he dictates the mobile advantage, he has the infantry advantage, and he has a Lord advantage. The only thing he doesn't have anymore is range. Technically, the Skink Oracle and the Bastildon with the Solar Engine are more healthy and alive than his compromised Bolt Throwers and compromised Dark Shards. Ice is still in a really good position. The Skink Oracle is getting quite low on health and ammunition, and he's now firing into Cold One Dread Knights, a full health unit that is about to get on top of Otis here. And the Skink Oracle getting hit with the Reaper Bolt Throwers now. Very low on health. It will shatter quite soon. I think Ice has got this. Enticity put up a very good fight. A very good fight indeed. But I think Ice Power will win yet another tournament. Dude's on fire recently. That bullet just curved. That Doom Bolt or whatever it's called from Wrath, just did a big old curve and got right onto that Skink Oracle. It's going to take him down. Still on with Solar Engine and Oxyodal, really the only things left for the brave Lizardmen here. And Ice managed to not lose a single bolt thrower. That's some impressive stuff. What the hell was that? Okay. Loud shrieking noise aside, Otis there used his little dart gun. Apparently it screeches when you do that. I wonder if Marathi has yet another Soul Stealer, and it looks like Anticity's just going to concede. Neckbet saying, see if Enticity had double Necrofex here. Maybe you would have won. Well, too bad, sir. The Lizardmen don't have that dark technology on us. And the Bleak Swords, Dread Spears all did fine. Marathi did great. Dark Shards, 2 of them got good value, 1 got excellent value. Cauldron Dread Knights did fine, and the Reaper Bolt Throwers did great. And that's it. That is it. GG, well played. Oops, not just G. GG, well played. Congrats to Enticity and Ice Power for the finals. Go for Snipe Cheese. Yeah, I don't know how he was doing it. I can't believe Ice bought two monitors just to post during the game. Oxycontin to perk 31. Laserdon has a great angle on the Dark Shards, and now they rotate to shoot the Oracle. Oracle dying, maybe? That sound. Yeah, that was a big sound. TY for letting me host. Enticity. Hey, back at it. Throw a big old smiley face. And that is it for today. Been streaming for about 3 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours. What day is it? I hope you all have a great day. And I'm taking tomorrow off from YouTube. I have some stuff I need to get done at actual work, not this version of work. But I'll host something on Saturday, whether it's the RTK Civil War or whether it's one of my silly tournaments. We'll see. Ice Power's back in the chat. Congratulations on winning. Nice 2-0. Don't compare the filthy elf things to superior rat kind. Yeah. All right. Jeremy, am I playing? No, I used to be playing, then they asked me to host it, so I backed out because it's kind of hard to cast and play at your best at the same time. All right, lads. I'm heading out. You all take care.